I don't care if you've been swinging through the city at 60 frames per second all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and the Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu's Prodigy, coming to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, fam, with that dang shit on my left. Stitch.
I'm excited to try to be a black samurai now.
On my far right, engineering on the ones and twos, choking people out on threes and fours, Chronos.
The show must go on.
Yes. I think we're waiting on Blue, but let's go to the oldest ninja in the world, Old Ninja.
Sometimes being centuries old kind of hurts.
All right. Blue's probably coming to join us shortly, but Chronos.
Motherfucker.
God damn it.
Well, my intro was going to be that in an alternate world, we would be at Comic-Con right now.
Yeah, we would be right now.
But we're not.
All right.
Yep. All right, well, listener of the week would be Sanel. Thank you very much for listening. And first in the chat would be, nobody's chatting yet that I can see anyway.
Okay. We'll come back.
I'm refreshing just to make sure.
We'll come back to him. I usually turn it over to Old Ninja. Do we want to stick with that tradition? I'm looking around.
No, I mean there's one I have to.
Yeah, you want to start off with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll start off. I guess my mom died last week. So, I mean, it's been rough over the past week. It's been actually rough, for the past 5 years. But it happened sort of suddenly, and it's been a little difficult to deal with for a lot of reasons. But yeah, no, I don't have biological parents anymore. And it's fucking weird. I don't know. People go through this. People die. I understand that, but it's still rough to go through. And with this whole COVID-19 thing, it's making it even more difficult for me in particular, and like the rest of my family. First off, because I can't be here with my longtime girlfriend K-Mac and my youngest daughter, and also my oldest daughter because she wanted to come out for services. I had to quarantine both my girlfriend and my youngest daughter to her parents because I had to meet up with my family, and we're breaking our little quarantine bubble, and that makes things more difficult. But I guess bring it back to my mom. My mom was a sort of a complicated person, but there was one thing for sure is that she was driven in life, and she drove her fire in life and getting shit done. She passed it down to all of her children. I'm using the torch that she gave me and passing it down to my kids. Anybody listening to this podcast, you know that I don't believe in a higher power. But I do believe in a form of immortality, and it's through passing down, what you know and who you are down to your children. As long as your children never forget that you're immortal, and your children pass it down to their children, and you're still immortal. So her teachings will go on through me and to my children, and hopefully to their children, and she won't be forgotten. She was born in the racist ass South, and she was a legit genius. She was invited to the Mensa program at a young age, and she decided to come out here to California to make a better life, and she did that. She made a good life for her kids, and we all learned a lot from her, and she will be missed a lot. I don't know. The past couple days have been fucked up for me. Anyway, I don't want to drag us on too long. I'm drinking my last Black is Beautiful beer that I have. I got the official glass from, I think it's called the 70% something. I was going to save this last one because me and my brother drank two of them, so I only have one left. And so this is the last one that I will dedicate to my mom because she was beautiful. And I'm going to miss her, so cheers.
Rest in power. Rest in power. I'm so sorry. And I'm This year is just complete shit. Obviously, less than 2 months ago, Blue did a touching tribute to his father, and just yeah, this sucks all the way around. Eloquent words, Kronos, and I'm sure, just speaking for everybody, our hearts go out to you and the entire family, and yeah, this one just hurt, man. This fucking sucks. Obviously, everybody listening knows that Kronos and I are cousins. I've known his mom for pretty much all my life as well, and I shared this story before, but I literally would not have a career at all if it was not for her putting her reputation on the line for me over 20 years ago. So again, this sucks all the way around. Rest in power.
Kind of an interesting story about Kronos' mom is that the first time I met her, she was like the first successful Black woman that I've ever met in my life. Like the fact that she like had her own home, and like when I first met Kronos, I was like, wow, this dude's rich. Like he's got all this stuff and this and that, and his family was like the first family that I met that lived in that situation, basically. So I mean, she was a wonderful woman. Like for the little time that I'd known her, and she just was all around cool. Sorry, a little choked up, but yeah, she was just awesome, man. You had a great mom, and even though I know some of the crazy stories, and the fact that she was a Jet Beauty of the Week, right?
Yeah, she was. And she was a Black Panther. She had like a lot of stuff she did in her life. I mean, like you mentioned, she was pretty successful in her career, which is rare, especially back then. For a Black woman to be successful and to be in management in the healthcare system, it's pretty rare.
Cool, man. R.I.P.
Well,
yeah, there's no easy segue. Old Ninja.
There's no easy. I mean, we have I guess this is another public figure. I mean, in y'all's personal life, Kronos' mother was a powerful beacon. But this gentleman here, which I'm about to speak on, he was a civil rights leader. So, civil rights leader and U.S. House Representative member from the state of Georgia, John Lewis, passed away. He was one of the leaders of the 1963 March on Washington. He was on the front lines from the march from Selma to Montgomery. He was an ordained Baptist minister. During the early years of nonviolent protests for equal rights and voters' rights, he expressed the phrase "good trouble, necessary trouble," which became his catchphrase for the rest of his career. He was one of the original 13 Freedom Riders, where integrated bus riders rode from Washington to New Orleans. During that time, it was illegal for both whites and blacks to sit next to each other in southern states. Those states enforced segregated riders on public transportation, which they broke and rode for, I believe it was a yearly event. By 1963, Lewis had been arrested 24 times for nonviolent demonstrations and would be arrested again in 2016 and 2009 for protesting the genocide in the Sudan. When Barack Obama was elected president, he was asked what he thought about Barack Obama being in the president's chair. He said, quote, "If you ask me whether the election is the fulfillment of Dr. King's dream, I say no. It's just a down payment. There's still too many people, 50 years later, there's still too many people that are being left out and left behind," end quote. For 15 years, he sought for the creation of the National Museum of African American Culture. It finally opened its doors in September of 2016. He has an autobiography and several books written about him. He died July 17th.
Is that the one in D.C., that museum you mentioned?
Yes, it's right now. It's literally adjacent to the Lincoln Memorial.
Okay.
So he was also... No, I'm sorry. He died July 17th after 6 months of pancreatic cancer battle. He was 80.
Rest in power as well. All right. Any others?
No. Those are
Okay.
the top two.
I thought there was another. So I thought, wasn't there another one like Vivian, CT Vivian or something that passed?
Who's the dude?
Oh, it was another civil rights leader. You're right, Stitch. I don't
Yeah.
have his name. I
Yeah,
don't have his
it was
name.
like-
You can look it up.
TV or CT Vivian. Another civil. I think it was almost on the same day as Lewis, or right around the same day. I can't pull up my my Google machine right now, but I know he was another. He's like a minister, civil rights leader during the Dr. King era.
Yes, let's see. Oh, yeah, he did die the same day.
Okay.
And he's also from the same city, Atlanta, Georgia.
Put his name out there. His,
So
his
see-
actual name.
His actual name is Cordy Tyndall Vivian, aka CT Vivian. He was a civil rights leader. He was a lieutenant and close friend of Dr. Martin Luther King. He died the same day as John Lewis. He has an extensive civil rights career as well, but he's either written or featured a book called Black Power and the American Myth, published 1970. He was 2 weeks. He was 96.
A
96
big thing
years old.
about that, a big thing that I've seen people talk about is how a lot of people are saying to remember all these civil rights leaders, especially Lewis. But the biggest way to honor them and to sort of keep their movement going on is to help stop voter suppression, which was one of their biggest causes that they fought for during the civil rights era, was to make sure that everybody everywhere was entitled and able to vote. So instead of just changing your profile picture, go out and vote, or try to help people that are trying to vote. And
No rock the vote.
Pretty much end voter suppression. Try to figure out ways to stop that shit from happening. Because I mean, where we live, we don't have that problem in the Bay Area where the five of us are at. But it's not like that when you go places like Georgia, Kentucky. We've seen examples of just all kinds of shenanigans to try to oppress lower income people from actually using their American right to vote.
There it is. Well said.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on right now. There's a whole lot going on.
Well,
I would like.
I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead, speak on it.
Yeah, I think we can't ignore the giant thing in the room right now, which is Portland, right?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
Trust you me, there's some nerd stuff we're gonna get into, but holy shit, there's federal troops on unwanted in the streets of Portland, Oregon, and according to Trump, going to be going elsewhere, other cities like Chicago and many more, with this Operation Legend. In unmarked vehicles.
Yeah.
Basically rounding people up, rounding protesters up, doing things that do seem against the Constitution completely, and are authoritarian and fascist and all the way around evil and wrong. I want to get you guys' take on this. This seems like some big ugly shit. What say y'all? Who want to start?
Go ahead.
Hold on.
Let
Real
Chrono
quick.
start.
It's not even just against the Constitution. It's actually against the Geneva Conventions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how Trump thinks he's going to get away with this, but so first of all, when you're having uniformed combatants, which is what they are, but they're not marked by who they are supposed to be, I'm fairly certain that's against the Geneva Conventions, even though you might want to say it's not wartime, but it kind of is. You're not any single law enforcement officer or military person needs to be clearly identifiable that they are part of some sort of federal or state or local law enforcement. If they don't do that, that's a serious problem. And they're going to this can go to like really bad places by every single person that is uniformed and not showing who they're staffed with. Because to be honest, like they got to meet the wrong kind of people. In Portland, you're getting lucky
Yeah.
because people in Portland are mostly civil and they're and they're pretty peaceful protesting. Yeah, there is some rioting there, but the people that they picked that they snatched up, they were peaceful protesting. If they go into the wrong city, those people in those uniforms are going to get killed because they're not clearly identifying that they're with law enforcement. And if people don't seem to recognize that that's an issue, you're fucking stupid. What if somebody that didn't have a badge on them pulled you over and snatched you out of your car? What would you do?
Definitely fight.
Like seriously. All right, somebody just rolled up on you, was like, "Hey, you got to do this." And they're like, "Who the fuck are you?" And they don't answer. They start assaulting you. That's just assault. Like at no point in time do they have any sort of qualified immunity, any sort of special rights, because you don't know who the fuck they are. So you have the right to defend yourself against these people if they are not identifying themselves as part of law enforcement, and that should be clearly shown on the uniforms. And they're not even doing it, and that's fucking wrong. This is like seriously Gestapo tactics here in America. Meanwhile, people want to talk about, the erosion of our rights with masks. Like this is, I mean, come on, are you fucking for real? You're getting snatched up by secret police.
Yep.
That's what this is. So go ahead and land.
Actually,
I know that they were protesting with the whole Black Lives Matters and stuff, but like, did the government say like, or not the government, but did like the governor be like, oh hey, we need support or this and that, or is this just something Trump is like, hey, I'm going to send somebody here? Because I can't even think of anything like bad that's happened in Portland, Oregon. Like I hear stuff happening down in the South with people like tearing down like Confederate flag statues or whatever. But like Portland, Oregon's like, what the fuck is what's going on there? Like there's no need for this, and the fact that they're like snatching up people is fucking ridiculous, and it's just again President Trump abusing his power, and it's not even power that he should have. Like, this is definitely against like people's civil rights and, the fact that people out there being peaceful, protesting, doing their constitutional right, like using their First Amendment and stuff like that, and them being bagged away and stuff like that. That shit's hella fucked up. That shit needs to stop.
I think it's sort of a continuation from what we saw going on in Seattle, where Seattle pretty much sort of had a Amsterdam kind of region of the city closed off to pretty much no police, no whatever. We're going to run stuff, and a lot of people were up in arms and pissy about that. Now I don't know what exactly is going on in Portland that provoked this whole sort of we need the federal government to get there now. So I don't know if they didn't want another Seattle situation. I don't think the Seattle situation was bad in any means whatsoever. I mean, it was just sort of they locked it down, and the police were just like, all right, we'll come take back the police station when it's whatever, and the people were just there, just sort of hanging out, chilling, and doing whatever. Now this whole police thing, it's crazy. It seems like they're trying to do like loopholes because the people that are dressed up in these uniforms, and they're like heavy fatigued out and everything. It's almost like a SWAT camouflage uniform, like BDU pants, camouflage with like Velcro patches. But the thing is about that is like, and I was watching several of the videos to try to see who it was that, like what agency these people are with, and the patches that they are wearing are camouflaged also. So it's almost like an alternate jersey uniform kind of deal, where it's like normally if you encounter a police officer, they're in just normally blue or black outfit with their colorful, easy to read patch saying whatever city, county, state agency it is that they're with, and then their badge with their badge number and everything. So that kind of stands out. So, but with these people, everything is just all in like some like sandstorm camo. You can't really see it unless you're like 2 inches from them and trying to read the patch, which, I mean, and they'll have like those, it'll say police on the back. So you kind of be like, all right, I guess they're police. I mean, they're armed like police. It says police, but I don't know who exactly they are. I can't put a name on them. So there's no accountability. You can't just be like, oh yeah, my brother, he was snatched up by some guy. It said police on his Velcro things. It doesn't work like that. Now you have no idea. You can't just be like, oh, it was Portland Police Department, or it was Eugene Police Department, or it was the Oregon State Police that took him. really a cloak of mystery now in terms of like how these people are operating and who's giving them orders. What I've read and seen briefly, I didn't really see any stuff on the news today because I was just handling all kinds of other stuff. But Oregon's the mayor of Portland is not down with this. I haven't heard what the governor specifically has said, so it's almost as if
they're suing. They're suing
Okay.
the federal government.
So it really almost is an invasion because you are supposed to separate states' rights from the federal government. The federal government is not supposed to intercede into state business unless there is some sort of declared natural state of emergency. And we've talked about it before, that the governor of said state has to declare state emergency for the federal government to come in. It's like you have to pick up the bat phone, be like, yo, I need you to come here. And then they come. They just can't just roll up in there on their own and everything. And it seems to be that Trump and that our federal government has tried to find several loopholes to try to circumvent that process. It was specifically talked about a couple weeks ago, maybe I guess a couple months ago, when he pulled that act out of nowhere. I believe it was during his whole Bible press photo shoot, where he I forget the name of
insurrection.
Yeah,
the Insurrection Act.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if he found something deep in the library vault of rules that he's dusted off the cobwebs to try to justify what he's doing. But to me, this looks highly fucked up or whatever. And I mean, I'm pretty well knowledgeable on like laws and legal rules in terms of like what police can do. This just reeks really, really bad and is dangerous. Highly dangerous.
Yeah, and the fact that they're out there wearing military.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, the fact they're out there wearing military uniforms is putting people in the military at risk. I mean, because you don't know who the fuck these people are.
Yep.
So this is another issue that I have. Is just like you're putting people at risk that should not be at risk because you're making them wear the uniform in a branch they're not even fucking in. They're wearing ACUs. This is what the Army wears when they go out in deploy. And actually, that's part of the normal uniform anyway. It's their camis, their ACUs, and they need to stop doing that. You need to identify who the fuck they're with, and if they're not with the fucking Army, then they need to identify who the fuck they are with. If it was with the FBI, Homeland Security, wherever the fuck, stop wearing that fucking uniform.
Big other point I want to point out, and I don't know if it's been said already, they're in unmarked vehicles as well. So literally a minivan with no fucking plates, and you're putting American citizens who have not been read rights into these unmarked vehicles and going, who the fuck knows where? That sounds to me, and Kronos kind of alluded to this, but it really sounds to me like kidnapping if you really boil it down. If you're not the police, you're not arresting somebody, you're not reading them their rights, you don't have any badge on, and you're in an unmarked vehicle going to an undisclosed location. All of those facts lead me to one logical conclusion, which is state-sponsored kidnapping.
Yeah. In order for you to legally arrest someone, you have to declare that you are an officer of some sort of law enforcement agency. It has to be clearly identified, which to me, this is not the case. Yeah. And you have to tell that person you are under arrest. And from what I've seen on these videos, they're just rolling up in the blacked out SUV, all tinted out, hopping out, grabbing people in formation, and then swooping them in the van, and they got other officers covering them with their rifles, just making sure that nobody tries to buck back against them, and then they go off into the night. And I think I saw something. It might be like Department of Homeland
DHS.
Department of Homeland Security.
Mm-hmm.
Department of Homeland Security. Yeah, okay. So I guess they sort of maybe done process of elimination by saying, yeah, it's them. When people start asking questions, be like, yo, is this state police? And they're like, nah, this ain't us. Is this local police? Nah, this ain't us. And they, I guess, sort of figured out it's this agency under the control of Dick Stain.
Hold that to get in here. Go ahead.
So, to give you insight about how I came across this scenario, because I got a couple friends that live out in the Portland area, and it was like about 2 weeks ago, I'm hearing about this like through text and Twitter and whatever, and I'm like, well, what? I'm like, this doesn't sound real, right? This doesn't sound like this would happen. And then I start to see videos of citizens in the city saying, hey, can you people, meaning the internet, help us and identify who these people are? This is happening to my friend, and this has been happening for a few days now. So more people were starting to videotape it, and it wasn't in any print. I didn't see any major news outlet, nothing talking about this. And there's people all over Portland saying, hey, this is happening to my friends, my family. Like, we can't identify them. We don't know who they work for. We don't even know if they're legit or if they're some kind of militia. And I saw one video that stood out to me where there's a guy, he's just walking across the street, and these two dudes in the sandstorm camo with like automatic weapons. They look like M4 carbines. They just come up to him. They ask him like one or two questions because you can hear him. And the guy asks, "What did I do? What did I do?" They're all, "Come with us." He's all, "Well, what did I do?" And they escort him to this like minivan. And the van has there's nothing on it. It's just like a plain van. And like the guy who's recording was saying they released his friend, but he believes that if he was not recording them, they would have took him to some undisclosed location. He wouldn't have heard from for at least a few days. And then other people were corroborating similar stories. So it was like, this can't be real. And then I think today I was reading a Newsweek article claiming that this agency has come out and said that they are part of Homeland Security and that they are authorized to be there. But then they keep, like kind of Stitch was saying, they found loopholes to explain why they're there. They won't give the exact reason on why they're there. And they're going to continue to be there. And none of that makes sense, but people are out there. And then today, I guess it looked like SWAT, but apparently they're part of the DHS because it doesn't say police on their uniform, but they're literally beating a guy with the nightstick on his leg. And he's still standing there. And then someone sprays his face. He has a mask on. They spray his face with that presumed to be mace.
That was a Navy guy.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that guy walks away.
Man.
There's literally like 5 or 6 officers or quote unquote law enforcement over this one guy, and they're literally abusing him.
So the guy that walked away is an older white guy.
Yeah, and he's like taller than everyone pretty much.
Yeah. So he's a Navy vet, and he actually came on the news, and he was saying how, he got beat up, but we need to get the focus back on Black Lives Matter because this is his words.
Mm-hmm.
Is that he said that I got beat up as an old white guy, but do you think if he was like a black veteran that got beat up, would you be doing a one-on-one interview? And the lady was like, well, I don't know. He's like, well, I know. And the answer is no, you wouldn't. So please get all your focus back on Black Lives Matter and not just on some old white guy. This is his words, not mine. You can look at the video. Yeah, because I guess he walked up to him asking a question.
Yep, they just wailed on him. Wailed like on his leg.
Like,
it's
and he was fine. Yeah, like he was like he took it like a man.
I mean,
okay. He took it like a beast.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he was just like he's like fuck your little fucking nightstick.
Yeah,
but apparently his arm. I think his arm was broken because when he's in the video, his arm is in like a soft cast. Because he's an older guy. He's probably like in his 60s or 70s.
Damn.
So if they want to
like flip him off it like when he walks away.
He does. He does.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But he took that beating. Like he literally took it like, and they sprayed his face. He just like ate it up like it was like it was fucking Febreze or some shit.
He didn't give a shit. This is what's crazy to me is that people, the government is answering these protests, and don't get me wrong, there's riots and there's other looting and shit like that too, which obviously those things need to stop. But what's not going to stop it, what's definitely not going to stop it, are these tactics. It's not going to stop it. It's just going to reinvigorate every single one of these protests and lootings and riots. There's no other way. This country was founded on a revolution. I think that the government should be well served to remember this shit. Is that it was started on a revolution, and also, partway through our nation growing, went through a civil war. Both of those things are not impossible in today's terms, because you're laying down the foundations of the reason why we first had a revolution and got away from English rule, and then the other one is through the continuous oppression of an ethnic minority, and that caused a civil war. So I don't understand how I think they're going to win on both of these points, because historically they're going to fucking lose at some point, because you can only push a population in one direction for so long before they start fighting back. And it's not even just the small population, because it's a coalition of multi-ethnic groups that are coming together in solidarity for one or a few groups that are being, oppressed over the past, hundreds of years. So, yeah.
I will just say this. I'm right there with you. And I give a shout out to Portland moms, Portland dads, any anti-fascism group, because that's what this really is leading down on that slippery slope. And then at the same time, I'm also going to say, look, there's a lot of Americans that have been very vocal about tyranny coming from the federal government. Well, you have it here. You definitely fucking have it here with an abuse of rights and overreach of the federal government, literally going into a city and a state where they are not wanted by the local authorities and not reading rights and having secret police. You talk about government overreach, again, government abuse of power and tyranny. Here it is. This should be pissing off everybody, but especially if you're someone who's been talking about tyranny this, tyranny that. Well, this is tyranny.
No, I mean, they're not, because it's these people that are on, unfortunately, most of the people on the right that are trying to call out tyranny with masks, but they won't call out actual tyranny with people getting fucking secreted away into some undisclosed location. They're fucking so silent on these issues. It's amazing to me that people that I know in the military are silent on this, but meanwhile they're mad about masks and they might think that COVID-19 is a hoax. But it's like, you can see all this shit happening right now. I mean, things that are happening. I've said it again. I've said it before on the podcast. Things that are happening in America right now, we would send the military over to stop somebody from doing.
Yep.
Let that sink in.
Yep.
We really would, and we have.
Over and over and over again, certainly. And it feels like this is some stuff that you would see in one of those Banana Republics, not the retail store that sells the high-priced Gap stuff, but like a fake democracy, truly something under a dictatorship or authoritarian rule, truly under some fascist bullshit. Those are the countries that tend to have secret police that aren't accountable to anybody, rounding up citizens they don't like for whatever political fucking reason, and just saying, bye-bye, you're gone into the gulag, the mystery gulag, peace out.
Dude, it's funny because this sounds like China. It sounds like what people in
Soviet
China,
Russia.
They'll have their protests.
North Korea.
And they would show up, and people get arrested, even though they're peacefully protesting. Like a lot of when people are being snatched up, or even when the coronavirus first was starting to hit, people were kind of messaging people through the WeChat app, and I guess the government was fighting about that, and they shut that down for a little bit so people couldn't spread the word. And that's basically what it sounds like our government's doing to try to silence people.
Man, I mean, what's crazy is that people want to talk about the Constitution, but it's like, listen, we have the Constitution, but we also have amendments. If you want to, I'll break down amendments for you in layman's terms. Amendments is where the federal government realized that they fucked up on a particular issue, and they amended it to fix that issue. What was the First Amendment right? It's the freedom of speech.
Yep.
So this is where the federal government realized that they fucked up, and people need to have the right to speak their fucking mind.
Yep.
And the fact that we have covert operatives in America that are suppressing our First Amendment right is a serious fucking problem. I don't understand why more people are not upset about this, because it's a serious issue. If you want to talk about your constitutional rights, that should include the amendments, because that's part of the Constitution. They're amended to the Constitution.
Correct. Absolutely correct. It's pissing me off. It's breaking news. And here's the other thing too, guys. Trump is overtly indicating that this policy, it's known as Operation Legend, is going to not only continue but be escalated into additional cities, which I mean, look, this whole thing is going downhill, man. If Portland is just the beginning, holy fuck! Hold on to your butts, man.
Well, they're talking about going into Chicago.
Oh my God!
Good fucking luck. Good luck going to Chicago. You are not going to go into certain neighborhoods in Chicago. You're not going to find any real success there. of people that are, first of all, wary of any fucking sort of police at all. Second of all, they're armed, even though they're illegally armed, but they're still fucking armed. So if you want to go in there and start trying to kick ass and law and order, that's not how you do it in that city. It's never worked in that city, and it's not going to work with the way that you're doing. Because you roll up on somebody like a bunch of fucking, gang members that are armed, and you roll up on them with fucking unmarked car, they're gonna fucking kill you.
Yep.
They're gonna kill you. They have no problem killing fucking kids.
Yeah.
You think they have no problem shooting somebody that's rolling up on them with fucking weapons? No. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
This is stupid ass shit. Yes, parts of Chicago is a problem, but you do not deal with that problem using quote unquote law and order, which is excessive force. That's never going to work there. It never has worked there.
These literally seem like tactics that you heard about the U.S. government or the U.S. military using it to pacify parts of like Vietnam. You know what I mean? Like literally this is the kind of language and operations that you heard about, which wasn't right then either. But when you're talking about a domestic situation, it's a powder keg that, man, this has a potential. I know I've said on here, I don't foresee ever a civil war or whatever. Holy fucking shit, man. I might have to eat my goddamn words if this thing escalates me on.
It's getting close, man. It's getting close.
Yeah.
Yeah, because imagine if he does his Operation Cinder. Oh, that's a Star Wars reference. But if he does this to Chicago, Atlanta, if he comes to the Bay, imagine they did this shit in the Bay. Like
he said, Oakland as well.
Yeah,
Oakland and Boston.
Right. This is the problem. Like the NRA, which what I've noticed, they've been fucking dead silent on this whole issue. All these motherfuckers that talk about, oh well, I'm my Second Amendment rights, my First Amendment rights, all my fucking rights, they're dead fucking silent in this shit. Yep. Because they know that they're not coming for them. But they should be fucking worried, because what if they do something that's wrong? You know what I mean? What if they are part of the other side of the group where the government's coming for them? I don't see them fighting those rights anymore. They're only fighting to keep themselves comfortable. That's it. If it's somebody else, it's fine. But this is like literally the fucking thing where with the, I forget the famous Jewish fucking saying quote. Where it's just like, the quote where they're talking about, they came for the fucking, basically everybody,
Gypsies.
And then they were out of allies.
Yeah.
And they came for me and I was fucked.
Yep.
This is what's happening here in America right now. And the fact that I don't see these quote unquote patriots saying shit about this shows me how much of a patriot you actually are. You're not a fucking patriot. You're just a fucking coward that wants to be comfortable for the rest of your fucking life. You're not about fucking fighting for the rights of all your people. You're not about any of that shit. You're just about being comfortable in your own fucking life, and the fact that the federal government is making you more comfortable by suppressing other people. It's a fucking problem. Stop it.
Yep. I love it. And big shout out to the female protesters in Portland, some of them going completely fucking nude, which I'm always in favor of, and being like, come arrest me. Come arrest this hairy fucking twat. I love it.
It shut it down, though, didn't it? It shut it down, though.
They're like, oh, boobies.
They need to have Mandingo come out there and be like, hey, look at this big old dick. That'll shut everything down. Like, no, I'm not going to fucking grab this guy. He's got a fucking baby. That's larger than baby arm, by the way.
Well, it's crazy because I remember when I went to Vegas, I met a guy who was part of the Mandingo tribe, and I was like, man, get out of here with that bullshit. And apparently it is an actual African tribe. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. That would make that would not be a fun conversation for me to have with somebody. It's like, you were what? Yeah. That sounds like it's going all the way bad.
I'm 16 Mandingo.
Yeah. Let's switch it up on some nerd shit, guys. These Xbox fans have been talking all kind of fucking shit ever since the PS5 launch reveal. They have been climbing on Al Gore's internet, talking madness about how the PS5, no way possible, could do the technical ability. It could have the technical ability to do 60 frames per second, 4K graphics, 4K whatever. I mean, I'm not a spec guy, but I think it was the 60 frames per second 4K stuff. Insomniac Games, who made this Miles Morales a new game that's dropping on PS5 exclusively later this year, said, fuck what you talking about, Xbox. This game does exactly that, 60 frames per second. Swing through the city as Miles Morales, 4K, 60 frames per second, eat a dick. What say y'all?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it, on a few podcasts ago, that the thing about the PS5 that is going to it's going to revolutionize gaming is their the utilization of their SSD architecture. And I broke down like the actual technical specs a while ago, but basically they're utilizing it. So every game that you're playing right now is designed for a spinning hard drive. Okay, and so there's a thing called seek time, where like literally every game is designed to have seek time for a game. That's why you get load screens. That's why you get drawn in textures. That's why you get all this other shit, because the actual spinning disk on your hard drive, it has to fucking find the information that you want, pull it out, and then render it into the game.
Yep.
And with the PS5, they're actually utilizing the SSD the way it's supposed to be utilized for, because it's actually pretty much as fast as your RAM, which is fast as fuck. So they're going to eliminate that. They're going to not even write into the code. If you're writing a game for the PS5, you don't need to write in code to compensate for seek time. You can just say, hey, these are the elements that you need, and you can get them immediately. So whenever you want them, here's where they are, and you can get them. And so it's going to make shit a whole lot faster. It's likely going to make PCs slower than the PS5 for a while, until PCs start writing games in the same sort of manner where they can actually utilize SSD architecture, which they're not doing right now at all. And yeah, I mean, the Xbox isn't doing anything like that. They have a whole bunch of other stuff that's innovative, sort of, but they also don't have games. Like, they don't have first-party games. So nobody's running games specifically for the new Xbox. They're not, and there's nothing new for them to do that would make their version of a game better than the PS5 version of the game. And so that's where the Xbox is going to get stuck. I think this might be the last generation of the Xbox, unless they come out with like some serious first-party titles. Because I mean, listen, the console sells like shit in Japan. It sells like shit in most of Asia. It does great in America. It does moderately well in America. It's never been number one. And they're giving no gamers an actual reason to buy the new console. Like, I don't have a reason to buy the new. Why the fuck would I buy the new Xbox One X, or the new, what do they call it? That's what it's called, right? The Xbox One X?
The One Box or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, there's literally no reason for me to buy the fucking console. None.
But they loved to hate on the PS5 specs, and all they did was speculate. I heard it for weeks that it wasn't possible to do the 60 frames per second, and I was like, really? They didn't say that? And then all of a sudden, that bullshit mythology was crushed this week. Come on now.
And it's called
Go ahead, old
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
Series X? That's the new Xbox name?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead,
no.
old ninja. I
just feel like you're in your troll dungeon a little bit too much, because I guess
it's not
trolls
trolling.
hang out with other trolls, because when the specs were released for both systems, both of them can do 4K. It literally says when they talked about the specs before revealing what the console looked like, that both systems can do 4K. So I don't know who you're talking to that said that they can't, that the PS5 couldn't do 4K.
No,
The only
it's 4K 60 frames per second.
Yeah,
That was
so
it.
there's 4K 60 frames versus 4K 120 frames, but really, that's really
No, that's not. You're misunderstanding, man. They were saying that the PS5 could only do 4K at 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
That's what the Xbox folks are saying.
I didn't even hear that. I never even heard anyone say anything about that. But I saw the specs that said it could do 4K and 60. I saw the specs for the Xbox Series X saying it can do 4K at 120. But like Cronus already said, it's really about the games. Like, it basically comes down, for the system that you're buying, what are you playing? And I mean, on the Xbox, there will be Halo Infinite. Apparently, there's going to be another Fable, which is supposed to be showcased next week. There's rumors that there's going to be another Alan Wake. So there's some stuff that I'm looking forward to, that I'm hoping gets showcased when they do their whatever they're calling it, their event in the next like 8 days or whatever. So we'll see.
So, old ninja, hold on, old ninja. This is the problem. What you just said, yeah, they're gonna have first-party games, but the problem is they've even admitted within the first year they're not gonna have any first-party games.
Well, I think they said the first
None.
2 years, not
Yeah.
year, first like
Yeah,
2 years.
How do you expect to be successful having no first-party games for the first 2 years? What the fuck? I get mad when Sony announces the latest fucking Metal Gear and it gets pushed back by 2 years. I still have other games to play, but I still get mad about that shit. But now you tell me I have literally 0 games to play on my Xbox One X for 2 fucking years?
Yeah.
Why would you buy it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
And let me just add, and I know, everybody knows my allegiances to pretty much Sony and PS4 and going to be PS5, but even the Halo Infinite, which is your big, like basically your Mario with Master Chief, that's on PC, right?
The Master Chief.
Probably.
I think there's one version of it that is the Master Chief Collection. Just
No, but
recently
this
came
new
to
one,
PC.
isn't Infinite a PC game as well, right off the bat?
Oh, it's going to be on 3 systems. So it'll be Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC.
I don't think it's gonna be on the Xbox One.
Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox or Xbox Live, or whatever the fuck title he has, he's literally stated it will be on the Xbox One.
That's hilarious to me. So 2 years after a new console comes out, they're gonna make a game for the old console. That seems like poor business decisions to me.
Well, when does Infinite?
That sounds.
When does Infinite drop? Is that when does Infinite drop?
It's gonna be at least 2 years after the fucking Xbox One X comes out.
Oh,
so
wow.
2 years from now.
Oh no,
So 2022.
Halo Infinite. I thought it has a November release. I'm not
Of this
mistaken.
year?
No,
Hold on.
we already just established on this
Hmm.
that they're gonna have no first party games for at least 2 years. I thought it was at least 1 year, but you already said on here.
Yeah,
that
they were
it's gonna be
saying
at
2
least
years. 2 years out.
Yeah,
Spencer-
that's 2022, man. Like RIP Xbox.
Damn. I could okay.
And-
So to me,
In that same time, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say, to me, if you're gonna put down $400, $500, $600 for a console, everybody knows you want some new hotness that's gonna make your eyes melt right off the bat. Like when you open up the box, you're like, what's my new current gen game gonna be that's gonna melt my eyes and I get to play with my friends? If you don't have that within 2 years, I'm with Kronos on this one.
Yeah.
I have to second that.
And yeah, and think about, I own all the consoles. I've owned all the consoles for the past 2-3 generations. I own them all. When there's a game that's good on any of them, I'll play them. But you need to have a reason for me to fucking play your console. And for me right now, it's gonna break the streak of me owning all the consoles because I don't have a reason to fucking buy the Xbox One. There's nothing that makes a game better on the Xbox One X than on a PS5. Like there's nothing there.
When's the last time you played your Xbox One?
2.5 years ago, maybe.
Is it still in the box?
To be honest with you, yeah, it's on the box since I moved.
Damn.
God.
What am I gonna play on there? What new games have come out on the fucking console that I want to play? I'm sorry. There's one game I want to play on there that I probably will get, and it's the latest Gears of War.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's 2 of them.
I'll play that one.
Those are
Yeah.
definitely fun.
Yeah, that's not enough. Not enough, especially with our PlayStation in general. Every month or two, it seems like they have some type of exclusive hotness. Because speaking of which, I know Kronos is on Ghost of Tsushima, right?
That I am. Is everybody else playing the game?
Mine's
No,
coming.
no.
Mine's coming tomorrow. But go ahead.
Okay. So I didn't fuck up this time, and I actually went through. I dropped Amazon from doing my game delivery because they kept fucking up. So I went back to GameStop. So I had the same day delivery. It cost $10 more. I don't give a shit. I got it the day it came out, and honestly, because of all the shit that's been happening over the past week, Ghost of Tsushima has been really like a highlight of my life at this point in time because there's only so much shit I can do right now to stay busy. This is my life right now, okay? I get up in the morning, I play Ghost of Tsushima, I take a break, I do some yoga, then I play Ghost of Tsushima again. Then after a while, I'll ride the fucking Peloton bike. Then I'll play Ghost. Then I'll start drinking after I do the fucking bike ride. Ghost of Tsushima again, and then once I get tired enough in the evening, I'll fucking do some more yoga, and then maybe play Ghost of Tsushima again. But that's what I do. That's my life right now. So I'm on a fucking depression loop.
Wow.
But Ghost of Tsushima is helping me
So,
out. Like seriously.
back to Quick Gaming. Looks like Halo Infinite is supposed to release this year, the end of this year, and their showcase is tomorrow morning at 9:00.
We'll see.
So yeah.
All right.
Anyway, back to the game we can play right now. So Ghost of Tsushima it's a really, really good game. It took me a minute to realize how good it is. Only because like there's a lot of stuff in the game that I understood it, but I thought the game was like way smaller than it was supposed to be. Than what I initially saw it to be. I thought it was much smaller. But then I got to a point to where it opens up a new area, and then I realized, oh shit, there's way more shit to do in this game. So this is probably gonna take me 60 hours, more than that maybe, to beat, because I'm going through like all the side quests. I'm just enjoying everything on there. So if you're wondering about the game, it's basically like it's like Red Dead Redemption 2 meets Infamous.
Sold.
Yeah, so yeah, that's basically what it is. Like basically, like just think about being like a fucking cowboy, but you have a fucking sword and you just go through and just fucking tear through people's bodies. It's so fucking fun to like go through and like they have like this whole system of whether to basically be like more like a ninja or to be more like a samurai. And so unless you're like deeply steeped in like Japanese culture, you probably don't understand like what the two differences are. There's a huge difference. And they tell it in this game. You know, they don't call them ninjas; they say thieves, which is basically what a ninja kind of is, but sort of not. But it's really cool. Like the combat it starts off as sort of simplistic, but then it gets more and more complicated as you progress through the game. You get more and more tools to use in the game. You get more and more like stances to use in the game, and it's really well done. Because like. When I first started playing, I was like, okay, combat, it's okay, but I'm basically doing the same shit to kill everybody. But then later on in the game, they give you like different styles of enemies that you have to face, and depending on what stance you use, you might get fucked up, like real easy. Like early on in the game, you're gonna seem like you're really good, or you seem like you're fucking shitty as shit, because you can die within like 3 seconds in the game if you fuck up, like seriously. And you know I'm not a Bloodborne, Blood Souls, whatever fucking style fan. It's not that difficult, but you just have to learn what enemy you're facing and then like what style to use and to change your tactics. And the way they teach you how to do that over time is very well done. Because later on in the game you have to basically fight like these early on in the game, you're fighting like Mongols and bandits and shit, but then you have to fight like some fucking, basically like Ronin, there's like rogue samurai, and then shit gets fucking complicated, like how the fuck you fight them, and then you have to look at like your whole like your setup on like what techniques do you have to use, what tools do you have to use, and also your armor and your blades and shit like that. Like so, the whole progression system gets like much more complicated. Later on in the game.
I don't expect this game, and I haven't played it yet, but I don't expect it to have anywhere close to the story of The Last of Us. But what do you think of the story so far?
Yeah, so the story is definitely not The Last of Us. I mean, which is okay because The Last of Us was heavy. I mean, Last of Us 2 and Last of Us the first one was heavy. This one is not as heavy. It's still deep, but it's really steeped in Japanese culture. So, and it's one of the things that I like. And it's like the fact that he's like sort of breaking the samurai code to defeat the enemy. You know, he has to like break his code of honor, which is a difficult thing for someone to deal with. If you don't even recognize what the fuck that is, then you probably just play the game as however the fuck you want to play. But for me, it's just like, honestly, I feel bad about like going around like assassinating people.
Mm.
I'm like, why don't I just do some samurai shit? And you could do some samurai shit. Like this, the coolest part of this fucking game is the standoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally when you run up on somebody like, what fucking set you claim? Oh, not mine? I'm about to fuck you up. Like seriously, you do that shit. And like you go through it, you can literally like eliminate, like for me I can insta kill 4 people in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, and they're done. And like the rest of them might be terrified. They might start running away.
Nice.
And as they run, I shoot them in the head because I have arrows. I don't give a fuck.
Nice.
But if you want to sneak around, you don't got to do standoffs at all. You can go around just assassinating people. You know, being really sneaky, poisoning them, and all that shit. Just depends on how you want to play.
Have you messed around with the black and white mode?
I haven't because I don't know if you can switch back and forth.
Hmm.
So when you go to the black and white mode, it changes everything from English dub to subtitled in Japanese plus black and white.
Okay.
Which if I play the game again, I will definitely do that.
Hmm.
But the problem is that you know me about sub versus dub. I'm usually a subtitle guy, but as an American that knows a bunch of Japanese American actors, there's actually actors that I can see in the game that I fucking know from their face.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's like one guy who's an archer, and I know the guy from his face alone. And he was in I think he was in Lost and a couple of other shows that I used
Daniel
to watch.
Day Kim, that guy?
No, not him, because that guy's Korean. All right,
You racist
anyway.
asshole.
it's I forget his fucking name. It's another guy. He's an older guy.
I know who you're talking about. The
eyes.
one from Lost that was the old guy in the 70s in the encampment kind of the tunnel guy. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So he's in the game. It's like really interesting to see like somebody that you know as an actor as his likeness in a game.
Yeah.
Talking as himself, you know, and it's really cool. So, but I will play the game again. Likely, I'll probably platinum this game because it's really easy. Not easy. It's easier to platinum Sucker Punch games because they give you like a clear path to get to everything.
Nice.
So in this game, what's really cool is like the way that they show you how to get to shit, and they use the power of nature to show you how to get to shit.
Ooh.
They don't use like traditional fucking like waypoints.
No map.
No, well you have a map, but what happens is when you pull up the map and you say I want to go here, there's no waypoints. What happens is the wind tells you where to go.
That's fucking artful.
So as you're like riding around, yeah, well like as you're rolling around, like all like the wind, like you can see the wind direction, like with the either like visibly sort of through like you know swooshes or whatever, or just looking at the grass.
Wow.
And like the trees and like all this other shit. It kind of gently points you on where to go, you know. And there's also like as you're running around, there's also other nature things that are really cool to do. Like every now and again, you'll hear like this bird in your like peripheral, and you look around. There's like this yellow bird that will show you secrets that are around you.
Ooh.
And there's also like foxes that'll do the same deal. Like if you get to a fox den, the fox will get you to they'll jump up and down. Like, hey, follow me, and you follow them to like this fox shrine, and you get stuff that'll unlock other stuff in the game for you by following like these nature type things. And I think it's like a really cool way to progress in a game. Is just through following nature. It's like it's really neat. It was kind of when you first start playing, it's kind of weird. But then all of a sudden, like you be running around, it's like, why is everything like flowing in one direction? I'm not going in that direction.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, like intuitively.
This literally sounds like some Miyazaki Studio Ghibli, Howl's Moving Castle in the form of a samurai game in terms of the wind and foxes like leading you. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's been thoroughly enjoyable, and doing like the duels are fucking crazy because like the duels are basically boss battles.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was just for bosses, but it's not. There's like later on in the game you can do it. I mean, they're still technically bosses, but you can do it for like other sorts of events besides like progressing the main story, which is really cool. And all like the duels are like incredibly like nail biting fights because they're all different sorts. They all have different styles.
Yeah.
And you have to learn how to like really address their styles. And like some of the boss battles, small spoiler alert, but you can learn the style they're using.
Wait, like Kakashi? You the copycat ninja?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
Like there's techniques in the game that you only learn through doing duels, and as Jin watches them do their like ultimate technique, he like learns their ultimate technique and then uses it against them, and then you get to keep it forever.
Okay, wait. If you're telling me right now that I get the Sharingan, I'm gonna fucking flip out.
I mean, it basically is like the copycat technique, because like, and honestly, some of them are fucking. It makes the game so much better because like there's times where you're getting fucked up. Like, you know what? We bust out that fucking ultimate attack and just start fucking people up, and it will fucking eliminate a bunch of enemies at one time, or at least one. And it's like one I have right now. It's called like the Dance of the Wraith or something like that. You can kill like fucking 3-4 people in like the matter of 3 seconds.
Dude, one of my favorite animes is Rurouni Kenshin, or Samurai X, I think it's called in Japan. Does this have similar like style of sword fight as that does, or is it like a whole different type of thing?
No, yes. So what's cool?
I might be so.
So yeah, so with Kenshin, he did like the whole I forget like his main. I haven't watched the show in forever. Like his main
side, or he had the reverse blade.
Yeah, he had the reverse blade, but like his main thing was like he would keep the blade sheathed, and he could like release it so fast that it would fuck people up, right? So you literally have that fucking technique in the game.
Nice.
Oh shit!
Where you can whip that shit out, and it's just like instant death or instant massive damage, and but you have to learn it.
That literally sounds like some anime swordsman fucking epicness right there.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun, and like there's like little things in the game that I started noticing for playing it so much. Like there was a time in the game where I was walking through like tall grass, and I was watching the main character Jin, and he walks normally, but if he walks slow enough, he'll literally open up his hand and feel the grass as he's walking slowly through the grass. And there's like other things where I didn't recognize this until like maybe like 10 hours into the game, where literally after you kill people, you can literally you can take the blood off of your sword in various methods, and then sheath your sword like gracefully. Like he'll stop, either flick it off or wipe it off on his forearm.
Yeah.
And then sheath his sword like a fucking real samurai. I was like, dude,
love
are you fucking for real? I do it every time now because it's so fucking dope. After I just killed 30 motherfuckers, I'm like, I'm just fucking smooth as fuck, putting my shit away.
Yeah. I heard some really misguided, at least in my opinion, and I haven't played the game yet, criticism that I saw online from a super small vocal minority talking some shit like Sucker Punch is a Western studio. Is it okay for them to make a Japanese game? And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Any take on that?
Yeah, so people that talk stuff like that they're totally misguided. So yes, Sucker Punch is a Western studio. However, people in Japan wear fucking Wrangler jeans.
Yeah.
You got a problem with that? No? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like this is like they're paying homage to something that they really like, and I don't. To me, it's not in a disrespectful manner. They're not characterizations of a group. It seems very respectful to Japanese culture. I don't see them injecting any Western culture into this game at all. It's Japanese as fuck. You can play the entire game in fucking Japanese.
Yeah.
And in black and white, that is a throwback to, I forget the director's name, but it's a throwback to a fucking Japanese director.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can be more respectful than that.
Yeah.
So I think it's these people that are these fake-ass woke people that think that everything is problematic just to be problematic. But it's like, how steeped are you in that culture?
Yeah.
Ask somebody in Japan, hey, what do you think about Ghost of Tsushima? If they say they have a problem with it, which I doubt they would have, I'd be more interested in that. But if you're somebody that's living in the West, saying they have a problem with the Western studio making this game, fuck your opinion.
Yeah.
Play the fucking game. I watch Japanese fucking movies, anime, all this shit growing up. Does that mean that I'm some fake ass person? No, I appreciate that culture.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I just want to check out the numbers and see how well the game is selling in Japan. Is this comparing it to Last of Us?
Well, it's not going to be Last of Us. That's an established franchise.
But no, but I'm talking about in Japan, like how well that game did compared to The Last of Us 2 in Japan. But I'm having a hard time finding the numbers.
It's all
Yeah,
good.
it's gonna be hard.
I heard it's selling well, like over 2 million, better than like Days Gone and some others. And so far, it seems like from the user standpoint, and we've talked about Last of Us 2 ad nauseum, but from the user standpoint, it seems like users love it. So
Yeah, I can definitely see why. I mean, just it's so fun. Like I feel like this is the first game that I played where I felt like a motherfucking samurai.
Yeah.
Like seriously, just going through and just like wrecking shit. Be like, I'm the fucking samurai. But if I want to, I can go around and be a fucking ninja.
I love it.
You know.
I can't wait.
But it's also disrespectful. This is what's terrible about the game. All right, is that if you decide to take the ninja route and you start doing ninja shit, every now and again, Jin will remember times with his uncle who taught him how to basically be a samurai. He remember times where he's like, no, we don't. We look people in the face when we kill them. We don't kill them from the shadows.
Damn.
You know, it's just like, meanwhile, just kill somebody in the shadows.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, all right.
That's some Uncle Ben shit.
Yeah. You failed Uncle Ira.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, man. It would be funny if they released some DLC where you get the Rasengan too. You know what I mean? They just go full ninja shit on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
DLC will have Godzilla.
I think
there you go.
Does Naruto have? Because I know Naruto is based off of a bunch of ninjas, but do they ever have samurais in there?
Yes, they do. They have samurais. If you look at during the Hokage summit where Sasuke crashed the summit, there are samurais there, and they have like basically they have their own jutsus for their samurai swords. And Sasuke came through and fucking killed them all. So yeah, he was like, "Fuck your bullshit jutsu, eat this fucking Susanoo, or you know this Black Flame or whatever." He just fucked them all up.
I love it. That Black Flame is fucking boss.
Yeah, until the Raikage came through. He got kind of fucked up too by Sasuke, but he would have won.
Good shit. Review in progress. I definitely want to see your final score once you finish and beat it. And I'll have my review on it maybe next week if I can start it up. Old Ninja. One of the games. It's an older game, but the 2015 hit Dying Light is getting brand new fucking DLC next week called Hell Raid. You down for this? You excited? We squadding up to save the Middle East? What are we doing?
So I have the game on the Xbox, and I've only seen like one trailer for because to me it looks like zombies for Call of Duty, but it all depends on price. Like if they're trying to charge like $15 or something, I'm going to be a little hesitant. I want to see a little more about what they're offering. Generally, the last few DLCs have been free, except for the following. That was like a $30 DLC if you got it at launch.
But it was excellent.
I mean, I have it. I got it when it was on sale during Black Friday, and I still haven't finished it. But I'm waiting to see a little bit more. I want to see a little bit more before I invest and check it out.
Okay.
So,
you know, I'm
it sounds like you're excited.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the game and the following quite a bit. It'd be interesting to return to that world, especially since we have no confirmed date for the sequel. I'm like, well, I might as well, and dive back in, maybe try to get the plat or get closer to it. So we'll fucking see, man. But I'll let you guys know once I download that one. We'll fucking see.
Do you know how much it's going to cost?
That I don't quite know yet. So I'm curious. I think it drops next or the end of July. So I believe that's next week. I'll let you know as soon as I see it on the PlayStation app. Blue, what are you playing? Actually, are you still on Borderlands?
Yeah, I think to play the last two DLCs. I jumped on there on Friday. Was playing for a little bit. I think right now I'm using the character with the mech.
What's her name?
Mose?
Damn, I forgot her name.
Mose?
Yeah, so because I level cap my siren, and I'm trying to level cap her. But for some, I'm not sure if you guys are having this problem too. But like, I can't get to the Love and Guns DLC. on the sanctuary, like whenever I go up to like the little exclamation mark, there's no option for me to select it.
So you have to download it.
Yeah, it sounds
That's
like
the problem.
you haven't like installed it.
Yeah, I have the same problem. You have to download it, and sometimes when you try to like purchase it from inside the game, it doesn't work.
Mhm.
That's what happened to me for like
Yeah.
the last DLC. I'd actually go through the PlayStation Store and look up the name of the actual DLC
Oh, okay.
and then download it because so I have the season pass, so it's still free, but for some reason there's like a glitch to where you have to actually go outside the game
Yeah, because
and then get it.
for the heist one, you didn't have to do that. You just walked up to Rose or to Max, and it just kind of
Moxie.
downloaded on its own, and then you got to play it straight through the game. But like this one, I guess you have to, like you said, go through the PlayStation Store to be able to download it.
Yeah, just go to the store. You should.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down to run that one with you too, Blue. I experienced the same kind of error or bug, including when I was playing it a day or two ago. So they definitely haven't fixed it. But I'm going to use that tip from Kronos, and I can't wait to finish some more of these DLCs. The DLCs, I've enjoyed this more than a lot of missions in the regular campaign. And I saw last night I was able to get up to level 60, so they raised the level cap from 57.
Yeah, level cap Moe's again. And I beat all the DLCs. I beat the Love Gun and Tentacles, and then the latest one, which is like the Blood and Bounty or something like that.
Yeah.
That one's like a lot of fun. That one actually is probably one of the best DLCs ever because they add in a bunch of gameplay elements that were not in there previously. So you have like these jump pads. You have these like things you can like basically hit, and they turn into like multiple grenades. And they have like a new vehicle. So and they actually changed like the way that you play the game. So it's almost like they were watching the success of Doom, and then they kind of played on that. So they have like, so you guys played Doom before,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like the 2016 one.
Yeah. So what they did was they have like an area that becomes like a small arena for you to like play around with. So you have like elemental things in the environment that you can fuck with to get an advantage over the enemies, and then you have like you can run around and do like loops of stuff. So that the fact that they put that stuff in the game, because before you play Borderlands like Borderlands, but in this one you can actually use the environment to your advantage, like way more to your advantage than in any of the Borderlands before.
Nice.
And it's a lot of fun, and they have like teleporters and shit too.
Is-
So yeah, there's like a lot of other stuff in the game.
Is this only in that for that DLC? Is it only in like one area of a planet or a new planet, or where does it take place?
It's a new planet and it's very big.
Okay,
So yeah,
Good shit.
you're gonna have a lot of fun playing it.
dude. Yeah,
What's kinda great
jump
about
on
the-
there and play it with me again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's great about the Borderland DLCs is like they're like standalone games themselves. Like the Moxie Heights, that took me fucking forever. I felt like it took me just as long to play that and pass it as it did for me to play the actual game all the way through.
Wow.
Like there was so much shit happening and like all those side quests and stuff. Like it was a lot of fun.
Any Borderlands games that's out there, like just buy the season pass.
Yep.
It's easily the most you're gonna get the most bang for your buck with the season pass for Borderlands. For any Borderlands game, they will get with any other game by far. Because I think you get at least 3, usually 4, of their DLCs, for free, and it's substantially adds on to your gameplay. Plus, you get all these other free DLCs too. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, then they add on new characters for free, and then you know what I mean, and new classes and all that other kind of cool stuff. So and golden keys.
And that's one thing. That's one thing they're missing actually with this game. Is they haven't added in any new characters yet, which I'm very like. I'm like, we're 3 DLCs in,
Yeah,
and there's no new character yet. They're gonna add in somebody.
yeah.
Bring
I can't
somebody
wait
back.
to. Yeah, that'd be fun. I love my Salvador, but I'm loving Mose and being able to level her up even more. I actually want to get at least one more character. I think I'm going to go for either Flak or the Siren coming up soon. But yeah, I'm going to play these DLCs this weekend.
Yeah, so far, I've played as Mose, Zane, and Fleck, and so far Mose has been like my favorite character. Which, traditionally speaking, I don't go for a character like that, but her skill sets, once you get into it, are like they're really good. Like once you get like your explosion shit down and your fucking fire shit down, and your mech gets all upgraded, and they finally the opposite of nerf. They buffed her finally because the mech for a long time when I was playing was like I wasn't doing any fucking damage to
Yeah.
people. you were basically invincible, but I was doing very little damage. But in like the latest DLC, they finally put the nuke, which should do a lot of damage. They finally made the nuke a fucking nuke,
Yeah.
and like the bullets in the neck doing like a lot of damage. So I was very happy with that. It's much more easy for me to like actually use her ultimate and fuck people up.
See, having the Siren, she's my favorite character just because she's the first one I played with. Now I've only played with 2 characters, but using her when you're playing with friends is fucking dope because like you can capture the enemy and everybody can just go fucking throw haymakers at that character. But one of her abilities is that once that character is dead, it will move over to the next character and grab onto them. So like it's just an infinite loop of it just setting people up to make them fucking easy targets. It's kind of dope.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta play as her. I haven't played as her yet. The only character I'm missing.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Siren's fun.
did you guys see? Actually, Olin, do you have that game too? You still have Borderlands 3?
Yeah, I'm actually. I don't think you heard, but I was saying I need to start the DLCs. Like I tried doing it, but I ran into the exact same problem that Blue ran into, and then Cronus was like, "This is what you got to do." So I did it, but then by the time it finished, everyone was done. So I haven't done any of the DLCs yet. I'm looking forward to it though, because I only have 2 characters. I have Flak and the Siren, and to me they're both fun. I feel like you can do little tweaks. Yeah, it's going to be long from what I understand, so be prepared.
I'm down. I heard about some kind of disturbing stuff. Are y'all familiar with all this abuse allegation stuff going on with Ubisoft?
No, not really.
So supposedly, and I don't have their names and whatnot because I didn't dive way too deep into it, but they got a lot of executives that were accused of quite a bit of abuse and harassment, and those guys are gone, or got given the boot or whatever. But it was a number of them, and then there's been new stuff as recently, I think, as yesterday or today. Where they're talking about some of their older games and saying, "Oh, well, we can't do." They thought that some of these executives thought that they couldn't have a successful game with a female lead, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't quite make sense because you've had you've had several Assassin's Creed now with some female leads that seem to do extremely well. So it just seems like there's a lot of craziness going on at Ubisoft. I hope it doesn't affect any of the games that we're all looking forward to, like a Far Cry and Watch Dogs Legion. But a lot going on. What you say?
I don't think it will. I think. Listen, if you got pieces of shit that are working for you at the executive level, yeah, then you got to get rid of them. But they've had multiple games that you can play as a female lead, and I think that most people played as a female lead. Like with the last 2 Assassin's Creed, I played as a female.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not so I can walk around looking at her ass. It's because it's cool to play as a female that are fucking everybody up. Like it's just fun.
Yeah.
So I think people kind of lose sight on that. I think it's something that Anita Sarkeesian doesn't ever talk about.
Nope.
It's stuff like that is when people get the chance to choose between a male and a female. I think that more people in general will choose a female.
So it's weird to me though, because of the Ubisoft has owned the Tom Clancy franchise for like what two decades, maybe 2.5, and every one of those you can create your character, so you can be male or female. And if they really felt that way, they would have locked it into male, because usually the books talk about like a male lead. I think is John Mitchell. I think is his name. His last name's Mitchell. But still, like the team and even your character, you can be male or female, which is weird.
I thought it was Jack Ryan.
No,
I thought it was Jack.
No. In the Ghost Recon ones, you're Mitchell.
Okay.
Jack Ryan is Jack Ryan. But also, even the new Assassin's Creed, because they dropped what the female character looks like, you can already buy her statue figurine for the game, or you can pre-order already. So it doesn't make sense that they would say stuff like that, but yet still market or make games where you can be either or sex. So,
well, and then regardless of what people on the internet, and Stitch isn't here, but said about The Last of Us 2 in terms of whether you liked it or disliked it, the game sold like fucking gangbusters. We all know that. Horizon Zero Dawn sold like gangbusters. Those earlier rebooted Tomb Raiders sold very, very well.
Yeah, the
So
reboots were fucking. They're so good. Even
yeah,
we talked about this before. The uh
Heavenly Sword.
Uncharted Lost Legacy. Both characters are female. Even though you play as Chloe the whole time, your sidekick or your partner, I'm sorry, because she gets pitched when you call her sidekick. Well, your partner is female. The game should have been co-op, in my opinion, but still, that game still sold decently well. So
Let's rewind the tape. We can go back to fucking the mid '90s, late '90s with Samus Aran in Metro.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, the whole people want to say that female-led games don't sell well. They're fucking full of shit. Female-led games sell just as well or better than male-led games. All right, nobody has a problem. Like this whole fictional thing of people have a problem with female characters. It's fucking bullshit. Most nerds don't give a shit about who the main character is. They give a shit about what they can do in the game and how good the gameplay is. So if you make a good game, then yeah, people are gonna buy it. But if you make a shitty game, then they're not gonna buy it. And that's just the way shit is. I'm still eagerly awaiting the latest Metroid game.
Yep.
They got, I guess rescheduled, it's semi-canceled from Nintendo because it wasn't up to their quality standards, which is fine.
Sure.
Make the game that you feel like that needs to be made that is up to your highest quality standards. I'm fine with that. But we've had so many female-led games recently and throughout history that people just want to totally ignore to push some fucking weird-ass narrative that it's just a bunch of horny-ass male teenagers that are playing video games. Which is like, it's total bullshit.
shit. Even Mass Effect, the female version of Mass Effect is more popular than the male version.
Them shop. I will say this too. I don't have a problem, and you guys may disagree, who knows, but I don't have a problem when the female lead has some fan servicey sexiness to her. Bayonetta was fun no matter what anybody says, and she had finishing moves where she would have barely anything covering her up except for a little bit of hair.
Some hair.
Yeah, she'd be naked. I mean, I get it, but it's not. I don't think it's necessary.
Well, hold on. I would say for that character, because again, in the very first games with Bayonetta, that was just who that character was all about. It doesn't mean that every female character lead has to be that way, but I'm not saying that it was a problem or offensive. It was an immature game, and there was some sexual cheesecakeness to it, and it was fun. But you also don't. But you don't have that. Like for Resident Evil, you had Claire that you could play with, and then you have, obviously in this third one, you have Jill Valentine or whatever, and they're just badass. So
true,
you have a spectrum.
But you got all mad about Mortal Kombat when they didn't have slutty fucking outfits, and you're like, "Oh, I can't play this because they don't have slutty shit."
Hold on. Let me be clear, because I said this really crystal clear a year ago. It wasn't that Mortal Kombat ever had extremely sexy outfits. My issue was they just kind of made this arbitrary line in the sand where they were saying that literally sports bras for a fighting game were now seen after their 11th iteration were a problem for them. I was like, it was never a sexy-ish game. Yes, there were some bikinis, but not everybody was quote unquote sexed up for Mortal Kombat. It's just never been part of Mortal Kombat. So I didn't see the need to change it per se, because I would even say elements of Street Fighter is quote unquote cartoon sexier, but it's a weird thing to judge.
Well, the problem is, especially with fighting games, is that we pretend that we don't live in a world where we have actual women that fight. And what do they fight in? Sports bras.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, some of them wear rash guards, but it's pretty fucking rare. You know, it's rare because you want to wear the least restricted, like, you want to wear something that you're comfortable in, but also that's something that somebody can't grab onto. It's why men just wear shorts. You know what I mean? And people just, they totally ignore the male side of that shit, with literally the same fucking thing. When they fight in the least amount of clothes pretty much as possible when it comes to MMA. Yeah. And there's never an issue there. And when we talk about equal standards, like, I remember when Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, and everybody had a problem with fucking Quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Because of what she was wearing. but not a single person from Metal Gear Solid 4 had a problem with Vamp.
Yeah.
Like, he was literally this fucking sexy ass gay motherfucker, not wearing a shirt, being super fucking gay in this fucking game, licking his fucking knife and shit like that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Quiet didn't say shit the whole fucking game. She's wearing a fucking bra and some fucking ripped ass fucking stockings. It's like, come on, man.
Here's what I'm gonna say: the fighting game franchise that certainly wore its titillation or fucking fan service on its sleeve was Dead or Alive.
Nobody talks about it.
That's the one with
nobody talks about it.
Yeah, that's the one with the super boob jiggle. That's never been part of Mortal Kombat, really. You know what I mean? It's been a violent game. Yeah, it's a violent game, so that's why they were like, we're toning down the sexiness. I was like, what sexiness are you ever talking about? It was barely.
I just care about ripping necks out of fucking skulls and fucking the violence. That's what was all about for me in Mortal Kombat. I didn't care about, you know, what the character looked like. I care about what they did. It's like when I play I'm really good at Tekken. I used to go to tournaments all the time. My favorite character of all time is Nina Williams.
So
I didn't give a shit about what she looked like. She just played the best. Like, for me, like, I was the best person to play with her because her skill set and what she did was awesome.
Yeah, she's a good
And
character.
yeah, it didn't come down to because she was a female or she was sexy or something like that. I just want to fuck people up.
So some other stuff about Ubisoft is that there's a bunch of sexual harassment claims that are out there too, and actually some head people have actually stepped down. The CCO had stepped down, as well as the managing director of Ubisoft I was going to say Canadian. Their Canada studios have stepped down as well. So I guess there's a few accusations out there regarding stuff like that. And
yeah, all that's bad.
Stuff like that, that's just not cool. Like, like companies should really take stuff like this serious. But as far as games go, like, yeah, Ubisoft has definitely showed, like, you know, female characters are in games and they work out for everybody.
Yeah, like Swole Abbey.
Yeah, there you go. I'll even go. Rainbow. Yeah, it's part of Ubisoft. With Rainbow Six, half of the SWAT tactical characters are female. They're doing the exact same things with breaching walls and using giant hammers and using, you know, every single type of tactical gear you could possibly find. And they're not doing it in swimsuits either. They're doing it in helmets and actual riot gear.
Yeah, I've seen some of the characters cross over into Ghost Recon Wildlands actually, and like I would never have known that they were female until the voice actor spoke, because they're in full tactical gear. They're wearing like masks and shit, or hoodies that are cut up. You can't even see their face. You would never know that they're female until they spoke in the game, and it was fine.
Here's the problem with something like that. All right, so that exists in games. However, if you look at like SWAT team members,
yep.
If there's 5% of SWAT team members that exist that are female in real life, I'd be fucking surprised. So the fact that you're getting what I would call overrepresentation of females in that branch is amazing to me, and nobody's talking about that because people are going to be mad at what I just said.
Yeah,
but it's true. If you can show me fucking 50 in America, 50 SWAT team members that are female, I'd be fucking surprised.
Yeah.
No, Clay in the chat has said that Mortal Kombat 11, that the male characters were more sexualized than the female characters.
There you go. And I do want to play that. I still love fucking Mortal Kombat, but holy shit. I mean, we'll see. Everybody's going to have an opinion on the sexiness or unsexiness of something. But if we're not talking about actual nudes or the GTA San Andreas hot coffee fucking scandal, then...
And even hot coffee wasn't even in the game.
No.
Yeah,
wasn't it a code? Wasn't it a code that was like a deleted
You had to
thing?
actually mod. You had to mod it. Yeah, you had to hack to get it.
Yeah. So some of this is much ado about fucking nothing with that bullshit.
And even then, like, what's hilarious to me is that people got mad about the hot coffee thing that was you had to hack to do. But meanwhile, nobody had a problem with like fucking hookers and then like kick them out of your car and kill them. Run
them over.
Yeah, nobody gave a shit about that.
Yep. I love that part about
So-
GTA. Did
That
y'all
was fun.
hear? We are getting, at least on Netflix, so it's going to be big for some people who didn't experience it a few years back, but we're getting Avatar Korra, goddammit.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so Avatar Korra was the end of it. Honestly, I kind of like better than the original Avatar. Avatar, only because it made me question like, what did I just watch this whole time? And I was like, oh, the clues were all there from like the get-go. And honestly, Avatar Korra, they got fucked
They did.
because the last season it wasn't on Nickelodeon. It was on like
Online.
their very new online service.
And they didn't advertise it.
And no, yeah, they didn't. It was all fucked up. But the end of the series was really, really well done. Especially has to do with relationships and shit like that. So I hope everybody can come through and like watch Avatar Korra because it's really, really good.
You know, it's actually pretty smart that Netflix is doing this by showing like The Last Airbender and Korra because, you know, they're working on a live action movie. Hopefully it's not as bad as the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong one. But I remember for the first one, The Last Airbender, that the reason why it kind of ended so abrupt was that I think it was because of the writer's strike or something like that, where, you know, they were kind of run out of time. And so they had to cut the season short, and they basically make Aang fight the final bad guy without him actually going through complete training or whatever, which kind of derailed the series a little bit. But yeah, Korra was definitely on a different level, and having it go from being on Nickelodeon to it being online really fucking threw it off. Because for me, for example, I didn't even know that. I thought it was canceled just because it wasn't on Nickelodeon anymore. It was, I think, until Kronos told me like, oh no, you only can watch it online. And I was like, wait, what? And the series was already over by the time I found that out.
The thing that I didn't like was really I'm going to aim some of my hatred at Nickelodeon because real talk, they caved to some of those religious conservative mom groups that were so anti-gay and in anything that they were afraid that they would be boycotting or threatening to try to have some type of boycott against Nickelodeon. And Nickelodeon, even though nowadays it's much more accepted, back in what was it, 2014, 2013, whatever it was, they fucking caved and they pulled that shit off the air. So when I see them in 2020 during Pride Month talking that shit about, oh, you know, we've had, you know, gay characters like Korra and whatnot, I'm like, well, you really fucking silenced her in her reveal moment a few years ago, and I'm not forgetting that shit.
Yeah, I'm of the same mind, man. Like it was disrespectful to the series and the whole LGBTQ whatever plus alphabet people. It was very disrespectful to that whole community, and I didn't appreciate it. But I still watched it. Like when they said that they moved to online, I still watch it every fucking week because it was awesome.
Nice.
And the fact that her life was complicated, it wasn't just like, if you watch the show, it's not just about an LGBTQ whatever fucking. It's not about that, all right? Because she was a complicated person. She had a boyfriend, and later on in the series, she had a girlfriend. But it was like so hidden throughout the whole fucking series. I don't know why people would have a problem with that, especially today. But you know what? America's fucked up, and we're still fucked up to this day. And we have a bunch of fucking assholes that don't understand that there's people outside, people that are not like them, that they can't at least treat with decency. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still don't get that. Just two people with fucking decency.
Yeah.
You know, it's not hard.
And on top of that, this Avatar, and I still slightly prefer Aang. Don't get me wrong, but this Avatar, since the Korra one had steampunk, Aang didn't have no fucking steampunk.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That shit was great.
Yeah.
Like watching their whole the whole Japanese steampunk thing is fucking awesome.
Well, what's also cool is that like in Korra, we actually got introduced to different kind of bending too, because originally if you got fire, earth, water, heart, I think that was the other one, but no.
Yeah, how dare you say fucking Captain Planet?
We got people who could metal bend. We got bloodbenders. We had bloodbenders with Aang too, but like we had different people using their abilities for other things, and that was kind of cool for them to do that. And plus, it was like a modern era too, because we had like cars and like cameras and videos and like airplanes and stuff like that. So it really was on a different level than the first one.
And I will say this: this is not to spoil, but I like the fact that Korra fucks up big time. In like, I can't remember if it was the second season or the end of the first, because it's been a few years since I've watched it. But there's a moment in there where, in terms of Avatar lineage, you're just like, oh shit, Korra, what is you doing, girl? Like, you done fucked up the entire line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because so you haven't watched the spoiler, but she basically murders off the entire like previous like Avatar when that skull guy took away her abilities, because I guess she was using her, I can't remember what it's called, when she uses like her Avatar powers.
Avatar state.
And when she's in that state, like she gets like something happens and that ends up killing off all of the past avatars and all their histories and knowledge that she can kind of go to. Or when she goes, I think it's a spirit realm, I think, or something like that. But no, when she loses all this connection to the avatars in the past, and I was like, damn, like, where did she go from there? Like, she's basically on her own now.
Yeah, man. I'm all the way excited about this. I want to watch it with my fucking kids, and also, I got a son and a daughter. I want to see what my daughter's reaction is to Korra versus my son, now that they're both a little bit older. We'll fucking see. I'm excited, man. It should be good. Where do you guys want to go next?
Let's go to the God of High School.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm current. I watched the latest one, episode 3 today.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's one of my new favorite animes.
Hey.
It's a Crunchyroll exclusive, and it's made by Webtoon. I forget the actual the guy's name who actually made the anime and the Webtoon. But it's so far it's really well done. It's about a tournament of high school kids that are fighters, that they're fighting in a tournament, and if they win, they get any wish that they want.
Ooh.
And some of them are fucking badasses. Are you guys current on this anime?
I have not watched today's. I haven't watched today's, but I love it as well. But keep going.
It's actually a South Korean animation.
Yeah, because they're in Seoul. And it's like the whole, like, the way they're fighting and like the way they pay really close attention to like different fighting styles is really cool. It's not something that you normally see in most animes, is like seeing like different fighting styles, and the fact that you can use any weapon that you want to use in the fucking when you're fighting is kind of crazy. Like, there's like one guy with like he comes out with like a book and a bat, like a metal bat, and he comes out just fucking people up with a bat. He's not even looking at him. He's just like reading his book, just like kicking ass with a bat. I'm just like, all right, that's that guy. And you have another chick that comes through with like a wooden sword. She's like a kendo specialist and fucking people up. And there's like two taekwondo people and like another guy that's just like a straight like karate fighter. And the animation is like it's pretty high up there. I'd say like the animation is like probably 8 out of 10, probably like 8.5 out of 10. It's really good.
I completely agree on the animation. The fighting styles are fun. This is a fun, new, fresh anime. I mean, there's been a few fighting animes of recent, and they were kind of mixed in terms. And we talked about them. The ones from Netflix, like Baki and what's that other one? Karan something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had the 3D motion. This one's much smoother. This one's it feels like they actually put more time and effort into it. It's more stylistic, and to me it pops more. It has more fun factor to it. I'm gonna catch up on the 3rd episode probably late night tonight, but I think Crunchyroll knows what the fuck they're doing with anime, and I feel like they got a fucking big hit on their hands. Hopefully they continue with it.
They did rebuild their relationship up with Funimation again and start getting Verve popping again. Not popping, but have Funimation come back to Verve, because having that all tied up into one was very, very convenient for an anime watcher.
Yep.
Well, I mean, Verve is still around, man. You can still watch a lot of shit on there.
Absolutely.
That's why I watched it today, because I was nobody's home. I'm gonna watch anime on the big TV.
Mm-hmm.
So
the Verve app works a lot better than the Crunchyroll app.
The Crunchyroll app is fucking garbage on Fire.
Yeah, it is.
On the Amazon Fire Stick or Fire TV. it basically it's not even workable.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I would even say I have my trouble on the little Fire Stick stuff with the DC app. It's real temperamental. Like sometimes it doesn't fucking work at all. And they got some good shows on there. But now I heard
Wait.
that HBO Max is getting them or whatever. Go ahead, old ninja.
Yeah. So you, quick question. So you have the DCU subscription?
I got it on the low from somebody.
Okay, I was about to say, because the DC universe shit looks like it's falling apart, like slowly, little by little. So
Funny.
it's probably going to be absorbed into HBO Max at one point.
Funny, you ever catch up on Harley Quinn?
Oh shit! Forgot about that show.
Okay, I only saw the first 5 or 6 of them. I'll probably watch some more this weekend.
Man, you gotta get more too.
Season 1's really good.
I got to get current, but I'm going to say this very loudly. Blue, you were right to promote this show.
Dude,
it's literally on that level. You know how we praise Rick and Morty and whatnot? It's on that Rick and Morty. And what was the other one? Solar Opposites. It's on that level.
That's a great show.
With DC comic book characters, it's on that level. It's so fucking funny. And so violent.
Season
Very
2,
violent.
It's like 10 times better than season 1. Like the shit that happened is fucking ridiculous. Especially with Batman being gone and all the bad guys kind of running shit. So it's like it's so fucking ridiculously funny.
Well, this is the problem, all right, with the whole, DCU or whatever the fuck they call it shit, is that it's another service I got to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole universe, I should not have to pay. It needs to be wrapped up in something. You know what I mean? I don't want to pay extra for any more shit. Like I feel like the whole we got fucked by unbundling because we all want to unbundle, so we can pick and choose our own shit. But I feel like we're getting ripped off.
Yeah.
By unbundling, like seriously. So I have to rebundle. It's just like where can I bundle? Like I don't want to pay $15 15 fucking times to get what I used to have.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
I completely agree. Some of it ain't worth it. And I think I'm gonna use, once it rolls over, maybe I'll use the HBO Max or whatever the fuck the HBO one is being called for watching some DC stuff.
I mean, it's probably going to end up having all of it. I know in August, like all of the CW stuff is moving to HBO Max. Where you're talking all the Arrowverse, Riverdale, some of the other stuff. They're even gonna. Since CW has Stargirl, that's going to move over there. CW has Swamp Thing now, that's going to be over there. So it's just going to be huge. They already have a decent library.
Hold up. I have not seen it for myself, so forgive me if I'm way off on this, but I heard Swamp Thing was violent as hell, like not CW level violence. They can censor it?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. That's why I'm going to finish it before it moves to the CW. Literally within the first 30 seconds of the first episode, right? You have people in the bayou at night, and they're like, oh, I hear something moving. Did you hear that? They're all, no. And then, like, a branch literally busts through this guy's chest, like, rips him open. He's spitting blood everywhere. Like, the other dude, I think he gets decapitated. Yeah, I can't speak. And then, like, another dude, he gets, like, lacerated through his chest, like, blood and guts is everywhere. I'm like, this can't be on the CW. They're going to have to probably either heavily edit or they're going to have to show it at, like, 10 o'clock. Those are the only two solutions I see. Because there's a lot of, and there's literally a scene where like a guy, he's like a zombie, but he's like branches. He's like branches invade his body and they reanimate his body. And he's like all dead. And it looks like The Thing from the the old 80s film. It looks like The Thing. Fucking shit's waving around. It's like fucking gross. I don't know how they're going to do this on the CW, but it's coming in the fall.
Dude, they always do Swamp Thing dirty in the DC animated universe. Like, yeah, the best way to get the Swamp Thing to do something is say like, oh, they're gonna threaten your swampland. Like, what you gonna do about it? It's like, oh, my swampland, blah blah blah. It's like he's such a sucker for getting like for people like Batman gets at him, fucking Constantine always fucking with him.
So
Goddamn,
him and Constantine have a love hate, I guess.
yeah.
Well,
So I guess you guys haven't read Death Metal then.
Oh,
No.
does he get
I
some
haven't,
bad
I
action
haven't read that
happening?
either yet.
Well, he's like, yeah. So Death Metal has to do with like the whole metal thing with the DC universe, but it's kind of like a whole like dark version of it where like Swamp Thing he's all fucked up. Like he's basically like sort of semi on fire all the time and like kind of dying, and he's on like Wonder Woman's side, and it's after like the Batman Who Laughs like wins,
Oh,
like the whole like like the whole this universe and a bunch of other ones, and there's like a whole new thread of like I think her name is Perpetua.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's really good because Wonder Woman, she creates the fucking chainsaw of truth.
Mhm.
Just like
Yeah.
awesome.
holy shit, yeah, it's pretty badass. So I'm gonna read the next one in 2 days from now. 'Cause I just picked up my comics today, but I have to wait 2 days to read them. So on Friday I'll read the comics that I picked up today.
Do you know what comic kind of got me fucking rock hard? Is there's gonna be a crossover
Jesus.
with Batman
How hard?
and Batman Beyond, where
Oh yeah.
Booster,
Oh, I
I
read
guess
that too.
Booster Gold somehow dealt with it. I'm assuming he's gonna bring Batman to the future, and like literally one of the artwork I saw was Batman, like Bruce Wayne Batman, like young Batman fighting against Tim McGinnis. Yeah, Tim McGinnis, like they're fighting.
Terry
I'm like,
McGinnis.
dude, I am so hyped for that one. And I guess it comes out August 22nd, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I'm also looking forward to the Ninja Turtles, The Last Remnant.
Oh, that's gonna
Oh
be good.
That
yeah.
one I'm really
So
looking
apparently
forward to.
that's
Yeah.
only going to be 5 issues. It's like a mini series, mini run, and it's
I'm okay with that.
and it's supposed to. I guess I think it's going to be an alternate future for them, but there's a lot of hype behind it. A lot of people are looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to it. I'm planning on getting all of them. It looks like it's going to be really fucking good.
The
If
other
there's
one
like
on
special
the
edition version of it, I'll probably buy a copy.
it looks good.
I'm not gonna buy it digitally, but just having a hard copy, I'll probably get that too.
The other thing, I don't know if you guys have read any of it lately, and I'm a little bit behind, but they're doing a big Marvel event, Empire, that's crossing over like basically every Marvel fucking book.
Yeah, so I am reading it, and it's interesting because it's like the Kree Scroll War. It's kind of like breaking down. They're going to be, I think, so far on the same side,
Mm.
but there's also like a whole other faction called the Katati, which is like this whole plant-based like race that the Kree fucked over.
Okay.
So, if I'm remembering this right, because I just read it like not too long ago, the Skrulls were like ambivalent, peaceful, spacefaring people, and they gave their technology to other races. And so what happened was they went to the Kree homeworld, but it was held by there was two main dominant forces. It was the Kree, and there was the Katati. And the Katati were these peaceful plant-based beings, and the Kree were violent beings. And so they said, hey, we're going to put you both on the moon, which happens to be the moon to Earth. We're going to sit you here, and whoever does like the most amount of good with the technology that we're giving you will win this, will win technology. And so the Katati, they decided to like basically just make like a big ass force and like advance themselves. And then the Kree, they made like these huge cities of industrial cities.
Okay.
And so the Katati won, and the Kree knew that, so they went through and just slaughtered all the Katati because they were peaceful. And so after that, the Skrulls came down. They're like, "What the fuck happened?" And then the Kree was like, "Thanks for the tech. You're getting fucking ganked too." And they started killing all the Skrulls, and they took their technology, and that's where the Kree Skrull War came from. And so yeah, it's really interesting because I didn't know like some part of this history was that Mantis was actually like a daughter of, I think it was a Kree and a Katati. So and then she had a kid of that is of like super significance in the book. So it's interesting so far, but yeah, what Prodigy said, it's like one of these ever expansive, like you have to read like 50,000 goddamn books to
Yeah.
understand the stories, and like a lot of one shots, and I hate when Marvel does that with one shots, and it's just like, just tell the fucking story, so I know where to
Yeah.
fucking read. So, but I'm caught up with it thus far, except for this week, because I have to wait a couple days to read the latest ones. But it's interesting to get like the Kree Skrull history and like this new faction called the Katati, and then seeing like how they interact with humans and other races in the universe. So yeah,
Good. I'm
Digging
on
stuff.
board. I'll definitely try to catch up a little bit this weekend, or I need to hit up the shop and make it happen. I feel certain events can be great even when they cross over, but it takes a really well written, well crafted story to be good even in multiple issues, especially that don't have aren't traditionally about any alien shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I mean, Hickman does it kind of the best when he did Secret Wars a few years back.
Yeah.
I think that was sort of the a pinnacle of how the fuck you do crossover events, because they were all very well done and it kept everybody invested. But when it comes to Empire, I don't know if I get that feel right now. I'm going to read as much as I can, but there's also characters that I don't really give a shit about.
Yeah.
Like Hulkling, even though Hulkling is potentially really significant in this because he's half and half of those races. So we'll see. I'm not going to discount it, but so far it's not as well written as Hickman. But I mean, Hickman does a really good job, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
I'll give.
Hey, Stitch is back. How's it
Hey,
going, man?
it was good.
Yeah, I'm back. I was listening on the YouTube channel and everything, but I think everything's chilled out for right now. So back in live.
Good shit.
Oh,
Storm
shit.
is good to go.
Yeah,
Dude, her
just
powers
running
kicking in?
fever. Yeah. What was that?
I said, is her powers kicking in?
Yeah, it seems like it just crazy. Sort of spit up everywhere, all that fun baby dad stuff. So.
There's actually an anime I've been trying to talk about on here for a little bit, but there's an anime on
Right.
Netflix called BNA, and I
Oh.
told Prodigy it's a PG version of Beastars, but it's basically about there's two separate species. There's humans and there's the people who are beasties or something like that. And basically, once you turn a certain age, that's when you get your beast powers, and you transform it basically to an animal, but you're like a humanized animal. And basically, there's this one guy, he's like a wolf, and he fucks shit up. He's like a detective or some shit, and he's investigating this shit that's happening in beasts. And like, there's kind of like a civil war between humans and these beast people, and like they're basically trying to murder them off, and like the beast guy is just trying to protect people and trying to figure out all this shit that's going down. But so far, the animation style is pretty dope. It's kind of remind me of like Fudu Kudu kind of style animation, or like what's the one with the high school one where the girls that had like the skimpy clothes and the
That's
High School
almost, you
Musical?
literally described like 30 different anime.
The one where they had like the Goku outfits and stuff like that. I can't think of what it was called. God, what is it called? It's the one where the girl had like the red scissors and like her
Oh,
Kill la Kill.
school uniform
Kill la
suck her
Kill la
blood
Kill.
out. Yeah,
Kill la
Kill la
Kill
Kill.
la Kill.
It's very similar to that, like animation style like that. A little bit, but not too much. But
Is
so
it,
far, it's
so hold on, Blue, real quick. The Trigger anime is what the name of the studio is called. Trigger.
okay. Yeah, it's that style then. But so far the storyline and anime is actually pretty good, and I think it's worth checking out. And it's on Netflix right now. I think there's only 12 or 13 episodes. I'm like maybe 5 or 6 deep in, and I like it. I'm enjoying it.
I'm down to
It's
try
called
some of that.
DNA. Yeah, definitely check it out.
So speaking of Netflix, there's a show that's dropping in 8 days. There's been a lot of hype about it. Everyone's been talking about it, and it is a new Transformers TV show. It was called Transformers War for Cybertron. It'll be a trilogy It'll be a trilogy series, I guess. They're under the mantle of War for Cybertron, but they're going to have segments. And I'm going to say right now, this is going to be my recommendation. Before you watch this, before you watch War for Cybertron, you need to watch Transformers Prime Wars trilogy, because that's the same format that they're doing. So basically, you watch, I guess it's like seasons, and you watch the first season, which is one storyline, the second, and then the third. Each episode ranges between 10 to 15 minutes. Um, they used to be on Go 90 and Machinima, but both of them are gone. I didn't know Machinima folded.
Oh, shit, they
Machinima,
did.
yeah, Machinima folded. So Transformers Prime Wars trilogy is split into the Combiner Wars, Titans Return, and then Powers of the Prime. You can watch them on YouTube, but the second part of the trilogy is kind of like a little trickier to find. So
I think it's on
apparently,
Amazon.
a month ago, Rooster Teeth started hosting everything Machinima used to have. So you can find Transformers Prime Wars trilogy on Rooster Teeth. I know that the first leg of the trilogy, someone edited it into the all like, I think it's like 18 or something episodes or whatever, but it's like an hour-long movie. So you can watch all of it. It's about an hour. The second one's probably like an hour and 10 minutes, but they're increments of like 10 to 8 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, they,
So
they,
on,
used to be on- if they were on the ones you're talking about, the Combiner Wars and the Cybertron War. They were on Amazon, but they were part of Machinima, so they're not available on there anymore.
yeah, Machinima's gone. So, like I said, Rooster Teeth, YouTube, and even Venimo. You can watch it on there. Watch those before War for Cybertron drop, because it's made by the same people, and it will follow the same story. So there's some.
Question.
Yes, go ahead.
Just make sure I'm on the same page, because I haven't caught up, but I'm glad you gave that preface of what to watch first. Is the style of this, cartoony, or is it kind of more like computer graphic-y? Like what art style are these
So
drawn in?
it's if you I don't think any of you have watched it. Maybe Blue has, but if you watched
I watched it.
Star Wars Resistance, the animation is
okay.
very similar. The animation is very, very, very similar to that. Not Clone Wars, but Resistance. So it's like computer animated, but mixed with cell shaded. So it's
Yeah.
like a little bit more smoother. It's like smoother movements. However, the War for Cybertron trilogy looks like it's like some really gritty. It's like a gritty kind of animation where like everyone's covered in soot and smoke, but it kind of reminds me of like a little bit of samurai, Afro Samurai, sorry, a little bit like that early on. But the Prime Wars trilogy is cell shaded, but it's also computer. So it's very smooth. It's very cool. There's a lot of shit going on happening, like a lot just within the first 3 episodes. They explain what happens, and what's cool about it is that a lot of the former like voice actors return. Like Peter Cullen comes back as Optimus Prime. Judd Nelson comes back as Rodimus Prime / Hot Rod. Ron Perlman's in it. There's a couple other like, yeah. There's a few more like big names, people that come back or that join the series. So it's very interesting to watch, and it's very cool. There's a lot of like new faces and stuff. Or yeah, there's some, and it's weird at first, but they explain everything, so it works out.
Good shit. All right, that's some solid recommendation in there.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching. You have about 8 days before War for Cybertron drops. You can get through the Prime Wars trilogy pretty easy.
Stitch, I know you had to step out for a bit. I want to pull you back on in here. Are you playing anything or watching anything of note that you want to kind of promote a little bit right here?
I saw I got an update saying that I guess the 5th plate or season for Food Wars is coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to check that out and everything. That's always been one of my one of my favorite animes. I mean, I obviously don't watch as many as you guys do, but I fell in love with that one instantly. That one's so good. Game wise, and it sucked because I knew it was going to get brought up. I guess Ghost of Tsushima and everything. You guys talked about it, right?
Yeah, we went
Oh,
back
yeah.
to
yeah.
it.
Did you
Okay,
play it?
that game looks so awesome. Like
I
I
played it. All right.
I was like, oh, I don't know what it was, what it's all about, and I made the mistake of getting it confused with the Tokyo Ghost game or whatever.
Oh, yeah. It's not that.
Yeah, and because when they announced it was coming out, I was like, I just saw this, like the trailer for this. I was like, I was not really interested, and I was like, wait a minute, this is two completely different things. And just been listening to like a bunch of reviews on it. I've watched a little bit of gameplay because I don't want to didn't want to spoil anything, but it definitely looks like something that's unique. It's interesting in terms of like the combat with all the different like stances that you have to use and stuff, and you can't. It's not really like when you upgrade, you're tanking your way through stuff. It's like you have to kind of skill your way and do a lot of parrying and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm down for something different. So I'm excited to pick that up. I'm waiting for the first price drop for that game to happen so I can pick it up. And trying to think what else. I know another fucking season of Modern Warfare is trying to drain my money.
Hey, if you earned enough Call of Duty
God,
points, you should be able to earn it. You should be able to get it. No problem.
It's like an OnlyFans. It's like trying to get my money.
Oh,
And I normally got better discipline than this, but it's like they released a hyena for like a little sidekick dog or whatever. And I'm like, it's a fucking hyena. I was like, I had to
That's fucking awesome.
spend $5 and buy that. And I was like, don't do it. And so I'm very, very tempted. But the new season for that, I guess, is in like maybe like 16 days or so. So I'm gonna
I think
grind
it's Tuesday or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna grind a little bit on that and try to get my points up. Also, back on Rainbow Six and
Oh
get to
shit!
that.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we really need to squad up in that. I
love
found
it.
out one of my friends was playing that game, and I was like, fuck. I was like, we were just like talking about like the operators we like to use, and I was like, I really need to get back in that one and play that. That's pretty much game wise. Oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question.
I just thought of you guys because I've downloaded the Call of Duties and I haven't had a chance to actually fucking play it yet.
So
It's fun. We came in first on Plunder. I think last time we started up.
So wait. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I had to carry y'all with my big.
No.
Wow.
You better check the stats. I found that neighborhood and I was just looting all the money.
Yeah.
But it's fun, especially when you're squadding up with people in that game. It's really unique how they're able to just pile on people's ability to just toss money at that game. So it's really fun.
True.
I'm trying to think of other.
I was just gonna say real quick, this might be my favorite fucking Call of Duty. Like they keep adding on to it, man. They keep adding on to it in a big major way, and it feels like a brand new game every month or two.
Yeah,
This
I don't
is
want
by
the new one to
far-
come out.
Yeah, this is by far my favorite Modern Warfare game. I keep coming back to it. I feel like they're constantly trying to improve it, make sure that it's like fairly fair for mostly everybody, but like they keep having these events, they keep changing the modes up, they keep constantly maintaining the game, which keeps bringing people back, which makes it a lot of fun to play. You never know what's going to happen week to week sometimes. It's been great.
Hey, I got a quick DK question for the group.
What you got?
Since we're living more of a modern age and like games that we play, they get DLCs that add more stuff to the game. What childhood game would have been cool to get a DLC for to make you just go back and play all over again?
Wait. Childhood game, like, are you talking specific era or what?
Whatever is your favorite childhood game. It can be on the consoles back in.
Oh, so when No Ninja was a child, there was no game.
Yeah, yeah, we had Moncala. Yeah, we had Moncala back in the day, so that was
Video games. Oh, Ninja video games.
I'm gonna say that if there was DLC for the X-Men 6-player game where there was more fighting and beating up in co-op,
You mean
I
the
would have
four-player
fucking
game?
lost my
The
mind. Good.
The 4-player game? You talking about the arcade?
Well, they had a
No,
6-player
I think
one
it was
too.
6 players.
Yeah, they had a 6 too.
There's a 6-player one?
Yeah, there's a 4 and a 6.
Yeah, it was 6.
When did that come out?
Wait, Cronus, did you remember when we
90s?
went to Mini Boss? Mini Boss had the 6-player one.
Did they? So this is a problem. So when I talk about like historical shit like that, there's a time period that I had where shit didn't exist.
Yeah.
Because I joined the Marine Corps and there was like a solid year and a half where nothing existed to me.
But I think this was in the night. This
yeah.
was in the somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah, I remember going to
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese in
If it
San
was
Jose and playing it.
If,
And that
if
was
it was
fun.
late 90s, if it was 90 like late 98 through like fucking
No,
late 99,
Yeah, it was
That-
probably late. I want to
probably
say
didn't know.
late 99, early 2000. But when we went to Mini Boss out in the South Bay, they had a copy. They had a version of that game. It was a
It looks
6-player
like-
one.
According to Wikipedia, it was 92 though.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
92.
Yeah,
But-
but still.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite. What you guys got?
Hmm.
There's
I
two
gotta think,
games.
but that game sucked up. That game was kind of bullshit though, because like you would
Oh, that was
use your
6-player?
huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to cut you off. I always thought it was 4-player. I'm looking at the actual like fucking
Cabinet.
cabinet,
Mm-hmm.
and I always thought it was 4-player. But yeah, I guess you guys are right.
Yeah,
That was
6-player.
6-player.
Hell yeah.
I used to see the 6-player
Uh,
more than I would see the 4-player one.
I thought it was 4. I guess it was 6. I was yeah, totally wrong.
No worries.
I think
There's
a
too
game
many.
I would play from when I was a kid that I would like to see have 6-player is or have a DLC is the first Resident Evil games. Just to have like more like scary shit pop, because the first one was fucking like the first one I played it was a director's cut, and just having some cool DLCs for that and like have like different kind of gunplay or like other side missions you can do other than just being inside the mansion. I think that'd be kind of fucking dope.
Shit.
If I would go with Twisted Metal 2. If they were to make that like online and then have like DLC where you could like download new vehicles and stuff, that would get a lot of my money. Because I remember I would run around with that. It was like Mr. Slam, that guy with the bulldozer construction thing or whatever. So I played that a lot on PlayStation. That might be my vote and everything, or something like old school. I would have spent a good chunk of change on.
Shit. I don't even know. Oh, you know what? If Perfect Dark had DLC, that probably would have been. I mean, back then, the N64 wasn't online, but there's a lot of fucking cool ass games that could have been awesome online. And if Perfect Dark had DLC, that would have been fucking probably amazing.
I'm gonna say any Metroid game.
Mm.
Any Metroid game. Yeah, give me some DLC. I want to hunt some more fucking Metroids and kill them as a bounty hunter.
There you go.
Or if
done
Battletoads,
the Space Pirates.
had DLC, that would have been the shit.
Oh, fuck that
Oh, you
game.
even-
You
Yeah.
ain't never beat Battletoads.
I beat it. You just mad because you couldn't. Battletoads.
You lied.
Don't get me wrong.
You ain't never got past the rocket
I played
level.
I played Battletoads like over and over again just so I could try to beat it. I finally fucking beat it. It took like
Nah.
months. It took me
I'm gonna
months,
put it on-
but I got
I will, if you can Twitch out you beating that level with the rockets and the jet skis, I'll Venmo
Yeah,
you
the jet
$5.
ski
I'll put it on the thing right now. I will bet you will not. I need proof of you beating that level. I say you can't do it. My money's on the table, $5. You gotta Twitch it out there. Ain't no chance you beat that.
That's
Yeah.
unreasonable, though. Come on, come on now, man. We're old people now.
Mhm.
Like, asking us to like play an old game that was hard as fuck today and beating it. Like, I beat Battletoads. I can tell you that for real. Like, I beat it back in the day. But today
is probably like
I don't know.
yeah.
I could try. I'll probably beat it.
Hey, wait.
It'll
So as an
take a lot
adult,
of tries.
as an adult, I beat the Ninja Turtle game, like the original
Yeah, I did too.
Ninja Turtle game. But I just beat it because I had a Game Genie code that had me
Oh.
at Infinity Life. So
I beat it normally. Listen, I beat Contra with no codes.
Nice. Yeah.
I beat Contra, but I had somebody with me. I did it with co-op. So, and we used the code. So, because I kept
You could
dying.
in Contra, you could
Yeah.
borrow a life from the other dude, right?
Mhm.
no, Borrow, you can steal a life.
Well, you can get extra. You can just get extra lives in the game. That's
That
how
too.
you did it. With,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how I beat it. You get extra lives. Well, I didn't use the code the first time I beat it.
Damn.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
I did. I had to use the code because I kept dying.
Was it was I with you, Blue, when we met that bartender at Mad Oak and he had the Contra code tattoo on his forearm?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay,
I know what that is.
That's dope.
That's hilarious.
That's like one of the cool tattoos I saw.
Did everybody get a chance to give their answers? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Or did you give an answer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
wanted
did.
to
Yeah,
ask
you
you.
did.
Was there any other B than B's?
Uh,
This one for Warrior Fella. I'm not sure if you answered this one already. He
What was
asked, does shelter in place have you doing stuff you have not
We
done
did.
in a long time?
oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I
we
think
did.
we answered that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We answered that one
All right.
a little while ago. It's still
Do you guys want to wrap it, or you want to?
Yeah, let's wrap it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to
Yeah.
get a workout in tonight.
Yeah.
Probably not, but I'll try.
Blue, what you got popping this weekend?
So this weekend, the Sweden and I are going to be jumping out of our quarantine bubble, and we're heading up to Tahoe to go hang out with two friends. So we have friends that have been quarantined in place, and we're going up to Tahoe. We're going to go fishing, which is something I haven't done in probably 20 years plus. But we're going to be we're renting a boat. We're going to be we're all of us going to be wearing masks, and it should be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing that for a couple of hours and just kind of hanging out in Tahoe. Tuesday, I'm going back down to LA again to deal with some stuff with my dad. When people pass away, man, there's so much stuff that happens that just
Yeah.
drags and drags and drags, and it's like fuck, you get exhausted to it, but it's still kind of ridiculous. I'm continuing practicing my dad's guitar. I actually brought a stand for it, so it's not just kind of sitting on the floor. It's actually on a stand. And again, it gave me the idea to kind of have my dad's picture kind of above it, so I can see my dad, and every time I pick up the guitar. I actually just finished my first kind of self-training for becoming a network engineer. So I did the CompTIA
CompTIA.
8+. I did the training for it, but right now I'm trying to think about where I'm going to take the test to kind of get certified in it. It's actually, it doesn't seem that hard. I'm doing a lot of the practices tests, and I'm passing the practicing tests. So I can go. Hopefully, I can still schedule that so I can go off and start doing the CCNA portion and get certified in that.
Nice. Yeah.
I actually had a job interview today with Facebook. I was talking to Mark Zuckerberg, and he said, "Party's a bitch."
Damn.
Nah, so I did have an interview today, and hopefully it went pretty well. Hopefully I hear back from them tomorrow regarding the next step, or if I got the position, because they seem pretty impressed with my skill set. So we'll see how that goes. I know for Facebook with their contractors, they require them to come into the office, but since there's not just a whole quarantine in place thing that's going on, everybody's working remote. So the first part of the position I'll be working from home, but eventually I'll have to start going in. But I won't be working from the main building. I will be working from the Newark office.
Fremont?
I guess they have an office in Newark.
Nice.
So it's a quick 15, 20, 30-minute commute from where I live at now. So it's not that bad.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very cool. Kronos, what you got this week?
I mean, I'm on the same loop of just working out, gaming, cleaning, and drinking. So, yeah, I've lost, I think, 6 pounds since last week.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's intentional, but also not intentional. It's I haven't been eating enough, which I need to fix. Like today, I decided to eat, but I had like fast food. But it's like I had a burger.
Mm.
That was it, and some fries.
Oh,
That's all I had to eat today.
wow.
Mm.
Yeah, so I need to like eat more, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
because I did like Peloton has been really good in this time. I've been doing bike rides, and I've been doing like a shitload of yoga, and that's been really good to like have something to like focus on doing physically. Like, gaming is cool and all, but it's not any sort of physical challenge. But doing yoga and riding a bike, stationary bike is difficult. So yeah, I've just been focusing on that, and eventually I'll get back to finishing up the Infinity Base because it's like 97% done.
Yep.
To be honest with you all, like Prodigy came out. He came out to the house earlier this week or last week. When the fuck did you come
I
out?
think it was
I don't
Saturday.
even know. Was it Saturday?
Mhm.
Yeah, so last week. He came out and he saw like the Infinity Base, and like it's almost there.
It's ready to rock and roll just about.
Yeah, and I'm excited to when we can all come together again like Voltron and start doing podcasts from the studio again.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also something that we didn't fucking talk about is goddamn. Oh, actually, I think we did. But San Diego Comic Con started today.
Yep.
Yeah.
And me and Blue are supposed to be there, and we're not, and it sucks. And there's like a lot of shit that we're missing out on because of that. But it's okay. We have access to a lot of the stuff anyway, as well as everybody else. So most people are getting free access to things that they normally would not have access to because they didn't actually go to the location. So that's really cool. But the press events are still both. I think me and Blue, we forgot to sign up for the press event shit.
Well,
Early
COVID
on, so-
happened, so we didn't. There wasn't. Well, yeah, I guess for the virtual stuff because I thought.
Yeah,
SEC
there was
I thought it was canceled, so I didn't do anything.
no, there was like San Diego Comic Con. They sent us out like an email
Hmm.
a while back. It was like, hey, there's press shit still. Do you want it? And I tried to sign up a week too late, so I fucked up. So we won't get the cooler press stuff that we had last year. Because last year, me and Old Ninja were all over the press event.
Yes, we were.
Yeah. So, but this year you're not going to get that for obvious reasons I just explained. But yeah, I'm just trying to survive.
Day by day.
That's all I got.
Stitch, what you got for this week?
Just managing Storm's fever that she's going through right now. So just trying to make
You
things.
gotta give her more. Have you tried cowbell?
No, I've
that's
not
the thing,
tried
right? You gotta give her more cowbell.
Oh shit, that's a good one. So just mainly just keep her comfortable and sort of chill. So we'll see how she acts throughout the course of the night and everything. So my sleep schedule might be getting a little bit thrown off. I did some work today on my Jeep, which was really fun. I got some turn signals hooked up to my mirrors and stuff, so that was kind of fun to do and kind of therapeutic. I haven't done any work on that in a good little while, so that was kind of nice to knock out. And then TV wise, probably try to find some stuff. I'll probably watch Food Wars like I talked about. See if I can find something new also on Netflix to check out. Did you finish Black as fuck Chronos or no? Not yet.
Like what?
Black AF?
Black AF.
Say that again.
Black as fuck.
Black.
Oh, black as fuck? No. Sorry. Jesus Christ. I was like all confused. No, I'm still partway through it. I don't know. I was fucking retarded about that apparently. But yeah, I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but
Okay.
I will. This is what the problem with me is. I'm not in the mood to like watch semi-racist shit right now. Like I've been trying to watch the United Shades of America
Yeah.
came back and I had to stop watching. It's not because it wasn't good. It's because like my mind is not in the right mindset to like watch it. And like even with what was that show with John Oliver last week tonight?
Yeah.
it took me like 3 days to watch it
Yeah,
because
I
I'm
get
just yeah.
Yeah. And then Lilo's been watching Atlanta, which has been pretty fun to watch. So I've been
boy.
rewatching that with her.
Nice.
Yeah, it's our first go through with that. So I've been rewatching it, so it's hilarious, of course. But yeah,
Good
that's
shit.
about it.
Old Ninja, what you got?
Just really quick to piggyback off of what Cronus was saying. If you don't know, San Diego Comic Con is doing a virtual con, which is pretty much free to everyone. It's on YouTube. So if you're looking for where to find it, it's on freaking YouTube. You can see all the stuff. It started today at 9. There's going to be more events all the way through Sunday, I believe, Sunday night. So just be on the lookout there. So a new show dropped this week on Netflix. I think I'm going to check it out. It's called Cursed. It looks kind of interesting. I want to give it a little try. I'll do the blue note, 3 episodes, see if I'm still in. Agents of Shield aired tonight, so I'm gonna watch that episode for sure because they're getting
Dude, I
close
haven't
to
watched
end.
any of the season.
It's actually being surprisingly really well done. There's a lot of stuff going on. I know that Ghost Rider is supposed to show up eventually this season, so I can't wait to see him again. It's been pretty dope. I've been playing Resident Evil 2 on Leon's run. Probably gonna finish up my second playthrough on The Last of Us. Shit, I think that's kind of about it.
Good
Oh,
shit.
no. I'm reading. I got my book. I got Alphabet Squad. I got a paperback. I've been reading this. I'm barely through the beginning, but it's been interesting so far. So I'll be reading more of this weekend. If you can see Alphabet Squad, it's a Star Wars novel. You didn't know. There you go.
I done read it or listened to it.
Yeah, I got the paperback because I wanted to read through. So
It's a good book.
should be interesting.
Good shit. For me, I am really getting back into some co-op gaming. So gotten down on some Modern Warfare. I want to get back on there, and definitely let's do some Borderlands. I mean, look, we can't spend as much time in the same room per se, but at least we can do some virtual squadding up, as they say. So Borderlands, Modern Warfare. I'm all about both of those. And actually, I picked up the Division 2 for like $3. Maybe I'll finally dip my toe into that one. But yeah, just some co-op gaming, a little bit of fucking reading on my science mags, and man, I've been flying through. I'm literally halfway through fucking One Piece, so I'm loving that shit. Weaving out. That's all I got.
Nice.
Wait, before we wrap it up, just a quick happy birthday shout out to Ella Darling. Her birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
And she will be a special guest next week on the podcast. So if you have any respectful questions you'd like to ask her, definitely jump in the chat room and you can ask her questions. She's a professional porn star actress. She might be on the retired side, but you get to meet somebody from that industry next week. She has confirmed that she will be here next week, hopefully.
She's a great person. She gives great hugs.
She's a great hugger.
It's weird because she says she's an introvert, so
I get it.
it's interesting.
All right, old dude, take us out.
All right, you just experienced Black and Black Times Infinity. Check us out all over the interwebs with @BThanBTI. It's BTHANBTI on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram. We're not on Snapchat. So we don't need that. You can listen to us on SoundCloud, YouTube every Wednesday night, 8:30. SoundCloud, Player FM, Stitcher, Spotify. Check out our official website, binhadproductions.com/BTI, and then check us out on Amazon. We have an app, and then we're also on Twitch, twitch.tv/BTI.
Skate.
All right. Shout out to Patrick for getting me beer.
There you go.
He's getting me more Black and Beautiful beers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's
Nice.
why I drank the beer tonight.
Much love.